This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Sierra 117, and you're watching Xbox Ultimate. Now, finish the fight. Chief out.
Everybody, what's up? We are live. This is Xbox Ultimate Podcast, and this is episode number 78. Thank you all for being here. This is going to be a really fun show because we got a bunch of like little random topics we're going to go through on this one, and it's going to be a blast. We got almost a full squad as Pong is on his way right now. He's he has to work. This guy's a crazy busy dude. But he said he will be here, just running a little bit behind. So shout out to our panel here and shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, chat? Thank you guys for being here. As always, nice and early in here. It's super awesome. But hey, we'll start with our guest today is making his triumphant return to the show because this guy's been busy making all kinds of stuff. You know, he's got a life now. You know. He's got a life. We're actually for reals. All of us are super happy because we just got to meet somebody very special just a second ago.
Yes.
That made us all very pleased. That's somebody's been taking up a lot of his time. So, but that was awesome. Hey, 3-Bit, how's it going, dude? Welcome back.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, just ran back getting furniture and other things, and it's glad to be. I haven't been on Ultimate in a long time. I think it's been like at least 10 shows. I've been on Fun Pop, but not Ultimate.
It hasn't been that long.
Maybe.
You've been on at
10
least
shows.
10 shows. No, it hasn't been 10 shows.
No?
You haven't been on for
6?
2.5 months?
No. I mean, I got to go rewatch now.
Did I just do the math
It's
right?
been a while.
Yeah, you did. That was right, babe.
Okay.
It's
It's been a while.
Subject.
But it's good to be back. Yeah, I've been working and moving to a new spot. But it's glad to be here. Gonna have some awesome topics, and I love you all, and it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Usually I start with my wife, but because you,
I know. How dare you, 3-Bit, thinking you can just come in here and take that first spot?
I'm
from
the
me.
guest. You know, I
no,
get
you're not the guest. You're not a guest. First in my heart, my lovely wife, Kaylin. What's up, baby? How's it going?
Nothing. I just want to say that this will probably be my last Xbox Ultimate episode because I'm famous now. I have a viral TikTok. So yeah, it's been really nice, you guys.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, she has a cooking TikTok, and she also does like crumble cookie reviews and stuff. And one of her TikToks,
she shows her cookies,
exploded a little bit, so it's been interesting.
You can see a lot of my cookies on TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you have any cake?
Yes, I do. I got some cake on there too.
Now that you're sponsored, are you gonna say all the cookies are good now, or are you gonna still trash some of the bad ones? Okay.
I have to.
Okay.
She keeps it real.
Hey, clearly they didn't mind that, you know, I don't love them all, so.
Yeah.
It's the realness is what they enjoy.
Yeah. I'm the real deal.
Great insight there.
Keep it fancy.
That's right.
And hey, the extraordinary AssassinLupa's here. What's up, Lupa?
Good evening, one and all. It's Friday. It's Xbox Ultimate. Let's get it on.
Short and
I'm
sweet.
excited.
Love it. How you been? Been good this past week?
I've been good. Yeah, you all been good?
Yeah. You been playing
Everybody good?
anything?
Chat, you all good? Yes, I've been playing lots of Valhalla, getting ready for the DLC. Looks real fun. Some great new moves going on in there, so looking forward to that.
Nice.
Playing catch up. So much backlog, can't cope.
Yeah. Well, the work that Valhalla is going to actually be one of our topics a little bit later, so we'll discuss that. But also, fresh from his new digs in Florida, this man who's going to be tan very soon, according to him. As soon as he steps out to the sun, he's going to become a few shades darker. What's up, my
Gonna
dude?
be a Greek god.
Yeah.
All the girls are gonna be.
That drip. Now, what's up, everybody? I'm enjoying the Florida sun the last couple of days. It's actually been really cool. So I had the windows and doors open and been enjoying this change of scenery.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's nice. You actually like the surroundings there better, or do you like the surroundings in Ohio better? You know, like,
Oh, Ohio, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're just an Ohio type of guy.
Yeah, I'm born, raised. I'm an Ohioan in my blood, always and forever.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So you're gonna still
shit
root for the
happens.
Browns.
Oh fuck yeah! I don't change teams because I moved across. I'm no fair weather fan.
No
Come on.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no, or nothing
Fuck
like that.
them. I hated them when I lived
Jacksonville
here 10
Jaguars?
years ago. Yeah.
Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, yeah. You go
That's my
Dolphins.
dad's team, the Dolphins.
Nope. Born raised Cleveland. Always be rooting for the Browns. Go Dog
Okay.
Pound.
You know, how did you feel when the Ravens won the Super Bowl back in like early 2000s?
That is bullshit. That was I call them the Baltimore Browns because
Yeah.
that was pretty much the
That was
Browns.
the Browns team. Yeah.
It was the fucking Browns. It was, yeah. That '94 team of the Cleveland Browns were supposed to win were favored to win the Super Bowl that year. So I mean, they had Bill Belichick and I forgot his fucking name, but anyways, he's on I think the Alabama coach.
Yeah. Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
I don't remember his name. Saban.
Welcome
Nick Saban.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is how we started talking about food on
Sorry.
Fun Pop. So,
Yeah, food on Fun Pop
What?
and sports on
It is.
Ultimate.
Hey, Jasper the realist, always keeping us on track. What's up, my dude? How's it going?
hey, I've just been kind of playing just everything under the sun. I finished Rainbow Crossfire. Now I started Pokemon Legends of Arceus or whatever it's called, and Star Wars Hunters. So I'm just kind of been jumping around.
Yeah, nice, dude. I saw you streaming some Star Wars Hunters earlier.
Yeah,
It was fun, or
it's a mobile game, so that's what you kind of go in expecting. It's supposed to come to the Switch later this year, so it's gonna be a Switch game.
It makes sense. Mobile games going to the Switch, kind of around the
Yeah.
same realm there. Shout out to Chris Jones with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, sir. He says CLoWnZ agent, hype man, will get her all the deals. I know you watch him crumble. Rachel Ray and others. I see you.
Let's go.
Also, KY Bob, appreciate you, sir, with the $5 super chat. Says, respect, been in Kentucky all my life, always been a Browns fan, baby. Also, KY Bob had a member for 9 months. Message said, hello, peeps, been a long time, guys, still awesome. Yeah, appreciate you being here, KY. Shout out to you, man. Guys, there's like not any big news. We used to all this chaos about acquisitions and all of that kind of stuff, and it's kind of been dying down. And we discussed a little bit here and there with like Ubisoft. We made some interesting comments the other day about how they would actually look at any opportunities. Again, they kind of have to if they're presented with any offers, but it was kind of interesting them being open about that with on the earnings call and stuff. Seeing that come out like that. So I guess we can start with that. But since you're no longer employed at Ubisoft 3-bit, do you think that would be something that you could see them doing at some point, is actually being acquired, or you think they want to just stay independent?
I'm kind of basing it off of the other times where people have tried to acquire them and they did not like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember who exactly tried to take over them. Was it Vivendi?
Vivendi, yeah. They tried to do a
Vivendi tried
hostile
to-
takeover back then.
Yeah. So Vivendi tried to do a hostile takeover, and then Ubisoft bought back the shares from them and said you can't buy us back for up until this year, actually. So it's kind of interesting that up until this year, they're basically are saying that they are willing to be. What was the exact wording? Was it
Basically,
they
they
were
were like,
willing to be?
we can remain independent. We have all the assets, everything we need to remain independent. But in the interest of our shareholders and everybody, we will review, of course, any offer that is made.
Yeah, I
And
think they would be willing to acquire. And I know a lot of people said that Microsoft, they are in the right now they're still in the the phase of acquiring Activision, so they probably wouldn't do it. But I still think they could, honestly.
Yeah.
I still think, like, yes, that is a huge purchase, Activision, and right now they are very much appeasing to the FTC until it goes through.
yeah,
You could kind of tell with the comments they're making and just the way they are handling the situation, where they're like, "Hey, this is not a monopoly. We're still number 3." You know, they're using certain terms like that. But I think it's possible Microsoft could do it.
it could be
But if
Amazon,
not,
it could be Sony, it could
Microsoft.
be anybody really.
I don't want Amazon, but I mean, the Microsoft can not inquire, but they can have talks because it's a private company, correct?
No, it's
So
public.
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Ubisoft is
public?
public.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, they can have backdoor talks, nothing serious,
No, just some illegal stuff, nothing really.
that
You know,
hey, that stuff still goes on
no,
regardless.
I mean, they could
but-
make they. Here's the thing: they could have discussions and just just curious about but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that if they were to make an offer, that has to be presented, right? So
Yeah, no,
if
exactly.
they were to do that and they all accept it, then it gets made public immediately, and then it starts this whole process again. So I don't think Microsoft will be on the table until after the Activision Blizzard thing is done with, which
Yeah,
which
that's possible.
means for me the reason I was bringing up like Amazon and Sony and those companies, because of that timeline. One of these other businesses or one of these other big giant companies may look at this as an opportunity to get in while Microsoft doesn't have the opportunity to, right?
Mhm.
This would be the
potentially-
perfect time.
Yeah, like an Amazon or even a merger. Like I was talking with Pong last night about maybe he was thinking an EA merger in Ubisoft could be a possibility, or
Ooh.
something like that. So, but you got to look at, like, Facebook was actually in talks with was it Activision Blizzard before as well, right? So
Yeah, there was a couple of different companies that was interested in buying them besides Microsoft. Yeah.
yeah, so I wouldn't pull it past there be other players involved here for Ubisoft. Um, I do think eventually they're going to go somewhere. Lupa, who do you think is the best fit for Ubisoft if they do end up going somewhere? Because you're an Assassin's Creed fan, so this is important for you.
Yes, it's very important. Ubisoft have gone downhill of late. Their practices are disgusting. The way they treat the devs is really bad.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff, they need to come out of that. They've seen the same thing happen with Activision, and now Microsoft are in control, and they'll change that situation. And I think that it's what Ubisoft need. They need some new. They've got so many devs leaving. I think it's like 1,500 have left or something silly, and some really good people that have made some really good games. So, they need to steady the ship, and this is the way they're going to do it. And hopefully it will be Microsoft. If not, whoever gets them, they've got a good structure sat there that they can move on and turn around what people think of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Because it's not a very liked studio. And I think that, they could do better. They have to do better, or they will sink in this time we live in. And so this is their way of climbing out of the hole. I think this is the way to show people that they're willing to change and they're willing to take, because their CEO is a little bit of a typical Frenchman, let's say.
Yeah.
And he needs to, Yves Guillemot, he needs to he needs to listen to his devs, listen to what they're saying, and he doesn't. So I'm hoping he'll sell out and move on. That would be nice. And then we can have some decent. Their games are good. They just need to be channeled
more
in the right
creative freedom.
direction. Yeah, they definitely need more creative freedom, and they definitely need to have a workplace they want to work in.
Yeah.
And at this time, they don't have that. And a happy dev is a dev that has a good mind and good imagination. So should always make them happy.
Yeah, like happy cows come from California. Happy devs, maybe they can come from California too. Maybe it'll be a California company, big tech giant that buys them out. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it would be nice if Microsoft got them, because I do love Ubisoft games, and I do believe that they can be better. There's always room for improvement. And certain teams, you know, they make really good games, but they get crippled. They get like shackled in what they can do and they can't do. So it would be nice to see them come out of their shell and be able to do better.
Yeah. I see with Ubisoft, they saw that, you know, with Bungie being bought by Sony, and how they're keep allowing them to keep their independence and do pretty much whatever they want, still be able to publish things. That's kind of what they want, what they like. They saw Microsoft, they're doing that, and now they bought Activision. So now they're like, maybe being acquired is not a bad idea. And, you know,
As Platinum's even said that, or, you know,
Exactly.
all of them were like, we're actually kind of open to this now. We see lots of money going around.
There's a freaking trend going on. After this Activision, there's a trend like, oh, fuck. This is not, you know.
Acquisition season.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's good for the freedom of having they're able to express their what they want in their games, like what Microsoft has been doing. It's fantastic. We see great things. We know already, and Activision is not part of our Microsoft yet, but we already see talks of Raven Software, Toys for Bob, all those devs that are only making Call of Duty games, being once they are acquired, freed and open up to do whatever they want. And that is like the one thing, that's the thing devs like to hear. Like, we could do whatever we want, have the financial backing, but still have the freedom. Like, sign us up. Like, seriously, like, let's do this. And Ubisoft could hold back and wait for Microsoft to be able to acquire them if that is a better suit for them, because Sony might not have the financial backing right now, because I think they have about 9 billion at the moment to
well, the
acquire.
thing is, like, Ubisoft's like market cap, like year over year, is like 50% of what it was last year. Like last year they were like almost 13 bill or something. This year like 6.5 roughly, around there right now.
Yeah,
and
but I don't see
they're very vulnerable because of that, you know.
Yeah, but I don't see Sony throwing all their cap space right for Ubisoft. Now Amazon,
Cap
different
space.
story.
You're using football terms.
Hey, we were just talking about football. It's in my head.
I love it, dude.
But
cap space.
But I see Amazon being able, like, hey, we need content, and what better way to get people on Luna than being, this is the only place to play the Division, Assassin's Creed, what is it, Ghost Recon, all Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher. No, being only on Luna, you know, good for them. But if you're not a part of that, if you don't want to subscribe to Luna, you know, I don't know how their service is, so I can't say.
Well, we don't know if they're going to bring the games to console. That's the thing. Like, they may only do PC cloud.
Because that
PC
world game they brought out is it went viral. It was on fire, and like everybody was enjoying it, online game thing. But
so PC and Luna. So go ahead, Lupa.
No, I just hope that it doesn't go there, because it will be PC and Amazon are not going to go console. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe
Yeah.
eventually they will. Like right now they're not, but the only stuff they've come out with is like those PC type games. I'm wondering if there's a world where Amazon actually starts putting their games on consoles as well.
Like, hey, Microsoft, let's put Luna on your service, and be
Well,
able
that-
to,
Yeah. And the one app future that like Xbox is like the one ecosystem future that
Mhm.
Xbox is really pushing for, that's a reality we could see. Right.
Yeah,
But like I
like
don't know.
one-stop shop. I mean, hey, if Luna stays independent and you have to subscribe to them, unless Microsoft decides, hey, they get big enough and they're like, yo, merge with Game Pass or whatever, we could do it. They can do like an a la carte, kind of like what Ubisoft Plus is doing. So,
and it's like Ubisoft has so many different IPs, and what basically happened to Ubisoft is kind of what happens to a lot of companies
They
where
let Tom Clancy die and then ruined his franchise.
it's basically what they do is they figure out what works, what's trending in the industry. It's like, okay, open world, microtransactions, yada yada yada, and then you lose that sense of what Lupa kind of hinted on was like devs not being able to fully make the games that they want because they're trying to make a bottom line. So what you get with a studio like Microsoft acquiring them, where you no longer have to worry about money, really. You get more freedom for your projects, hopefully, right? Like we want to be able to see this in action for a lot of these studios, because at the end of the day, there's still companies that want to make money, right? But what you get with a company like Amazon or Microsoft is you are able to have better financial backing for creative projects. So right now they have like certain projects that will only go past a certain point because they're like, oh, based on our statistics, our reports, it's going to make this amount of money. So we are definitely going to make these. And these games, it's not as important. Yes, the fans want them, but it's only projected to make this amount of money.
That's where
Right.
all the decisions come based on statistics and market analysis, as opposed to actual developers with a pulse on what is the new thing that people are going to be excited about. That's the one issue that's always bad with the trends and following the trends, because trends change, right? And if you get in on the trend late, it's like, okay, that's sometimes it dies with whatever you create. You know what I mean? Instead of them pushing forward to what the vibe is, what people are going for. Like that's the creators, that do that.
Yeah. And that's something I've always battled with, like creators versus like I guess the publishers and people who are up there. Basically all the people who make all the financial decisions, because you have developers who basically just want to make, I want to make all this cool content. I want to make awesome levels, things that the fans want. I want to make Splinter Cell. I want to make all these different games. But then you have the people at the top who are like, well, we'll give you this, we'll give you enough money for this, but we can't do that. And I don't want to get too much into that because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that happens with a lot of different companies, and there is a benefit to these acquisitions. A lot of people basically say with acquisitions, oh, what is the benefit for them? Is just companies buying companies. To me, it's really cool to see the future of the potential of like, oh, maybe these old franchises will come back because of a acquisition. And yeah, I mean, I love acquisitions. I think it's super interesting to me.
Yeah. We're gonna see more for sure. I mean, they're estimating, analysts are estimating like 150 billion in M&A with the gaming.
It's only
space.
February too,
and it's only February, and we're already at 80.
I know.
It's crazy.
Well, I don't know what that was, but hey, Jasper, Ubisoft, like, now I was thinking like it's almost like these companies are making like chess moves right now. Okay, because there's only so many of these big publishers out there, right? So like Microsoft's kind of in like acquisition jail right now. They can't do anything, right? and they'd probably want to have another target or two after this Activision Blizzard deal goes through. But like, okay, let's say Sony makes a move for Ubisoft. Does that actually end up potentially helping Activision Blizzard deal go through? Right? So it's like all these companies that are like trying to weigh these decisions about, okay, how do we approach this, and what we need to get, what we want to get while they're available. You know what I mean? Because somebody's going to get them with all these publishers.
Well, I think Ubisoft, they said that they would review any offer. So I feel like they're going to be a little more hesitant on a buy-in, like someone trying to buy them out, like,
yeah.
I feel like if the longer you wait, like the less publishers there's going to be. So the value of your company is going to go up because there's going to be less big publishers. So like maybe if they wait like another like couple years, maybe instead of having like a $13 billion buyout now, maybe it'll be like 30 billion. So maybe they'll want to like hold on a little longer and just see if they can't.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Shout out to Geezer Prime. Hit us with a $10 super chat. Appreciate it very much, Geezer. You're awesome, dude. He says, "Hi everyone, loving the show. Just need Lupa and Caitlin on video, and it'd be perfection. I get to see Kate in real life, and it is perfection. I'll have to say.
Oh my god.
Hey, and I'm sure Lupa's great, right? She's great.
Oh, what the
What the fuck?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Lupa's got her
this is
awesome-
the second time you've had a dig at me, you little fat fuck.
No, Lupa's got her amazing wolf. Like, what do we need? What else do we need?
Well, Mav couldn't say anything too nice because Caitlin's here. So if he said anything too
I
nice,
said
then he'd be
you're
dishing
I'm
Caitlin.
sure.
So it's
Great.
like,
I don't want her
You're
to think
never
I'm
gonna
hit-
know.
I don't want her to think I'm hitting on you.
Hey, baby.
I don't think you're in.
I don't think she would think that in a million years.
Okay.
You're never gonna know, any of you. So
Yeah.
just keep on guessing.
We know what you're.
At
We know what you're.
200,000 At 200,000 subscribers, I'll show you my left hand.
Guys, we need to get that hand. Okay. Let's get the hand.
I've seen more than a hand.
Okay. I remember we saw your avatar in like casino game that we played.
Oh no.
Oh
not-
yeah, it was like red.
Yeah, so that's like my vision is just that avatar. That's Lupa to me now, like an in-game avatar.
The cartoon.
Yeah,
You're making out that I'm some sort of like weird
yeah,
thrown together shape now.
yeah. You wear like for me, you wear like a jeans skirt and a pink.
all
shirt.
I'm picturing is like the Wendy's girl right now.
A Wendy's girl. Yeah, it's a jeans skirt and a pink shirt and like red sneakers and
That's
red
all I had a
red shoulder
choice
length
of.
hair. And that's all I got. That's Lupa to me now. It's burned in my brain. It's
Oh,
like the meta.
dear.
We're all gonna identify each other as our avatars in the future, right? So like this is
Okay.
that's where we're at now.
What you see right here is the wolf. Look into my eyes. That's who I am.
Are there smiley faces in those eyes?
No,
Oh.
they're Xbox controllers.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yes, nice.
I didn't even realize that.
No, not many do because it's too small on here. But when you get a close up of it,
Yeah.
you can see those Xbox controllers in the eyes.
This is so trippy. I'm seeing a podcast on the TV. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm seeing myself on Zoom. Then I'm seeing a YouTube window, and then I'm also seeing myself on TV. So I see like 3 different versions.
Can't get enough of yourself.
Jeez, 3-bit. I mean,
He's like, I
Looking
love
at
myself.
and is there a mirror next to you
Not me.
as well? I
Wait,
mean,
do you have like some kind of like controller neon light thing?
Maybe.
Okay, is it orange?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is it on
Yeah.
the wall right behind you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it
This
was like a
thing.
reflection.
It looked like Battlefield.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's fine.
it's right above his VGHD pillow.
Oh yeah.
Is that a
it's in there.
pillow?
Yeah, a little pillow.
Yeah.
It's in his neck
Little
pillow.
Little VG.
Love it.
3 big got swag.
It's got swag, guys.
I want more lights like Mav. I want to be on Mav's level with the pinks and the blues,
No, I got
the green.
my lights, but they're not lit up.
Yeah. I mean, these lights, I mean, you can get them for pretty cheap. Like some of them, like there's so
Go
many
to
those
different
like
brands.
are
below.
those the strips? Like I have a strip thing.
So
Stripper?
What is that?
behind the TV here is a strip, right?
Uh-huh.
And then that's a hue bulb in that one. So don't get those. Those are too expensive. But that's
Yeah,
a
they
hue
make
bulb.
way cheaper ones.
Yeah, they
these
make way
days.
cheaper than those. And then I got like a light right here that we got like on Amazon that's just like has a little soft glow thing. And then we got these like I don't know if you
Is
can
that
see
like
it.
Behind the scenes.
No.
Get a behind the scenes look of these?
I don't know if you can see it.
setups.
Like, you can't see it because it's turned backwards, but it's casting that light on the wall right there. It's just this little stand-up light thing, and it changes color. And you can get those for like 20 something bucks, I think. On I don't remember where
Is
you
this
got
the
those.
equivalent to like lava lamps from like the 90s, like just rainbow lights?
Yeah. I mean, and I got this like this little Wolverine light here. You know,
It's a little Wolverine like candy bowl thingamajig.
Yeah.
But we took the
how's there,
bowl
like-
out, and he's holding like a light.
How's there like 3 different colors behind your TV though? You have like your main yellow one, and then is it just the other lights near it that's creating like
that's a hue strip, and the reason that's happening is actually just because of the TV I have like slanted, so the light's casting
okay.
differently on that. I think that's why that's happening. I'm not.
It looks like a freaking
Okay.
rainbow.
call
Yeah.
it Xbox Ultimate Cribs Edition.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
glad
was
you like my
wondering, sorry.
lights.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Thanks, man.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'll be offering
I don't know. what we're talking
lighting consultant courses here soon, guys. If you want to improve your lighting and your setup, hit me up in the DMs and I'll make sure I get you in the right spot. What's up, KY Bob with a $10 super chat? Appreciate you again, dude. Thank you so much. Says, gotta head to bed, guys. Job has me getting up crazy early on Saturdays. Well, that sucks. Hence my absence lately. Wanted to hit the chat tonight and show some love. Great show as always, guys. Take care and stay chill. You too, bro. Have a
Later,
good night's
Bob.
sleep and have a
Thank
great day
you.
at work tomorrow morning, man. All right.
Bye,
So
Bob. Take care.
moving on. Something I wanted to bring up is speaking of Ubisoft, Valhalla is their first $1 billion game.
Bro, that's
Ooh.
insane.
As
One
it is,
billion?
bro.
Freaking nuts.
Like it's
They-
made that much.
And they made
Yeah.
$1 billion off of Valhalla.
And it's not
believe-
a freaking games of a service either.
There is
No.
microtransactions in there.
Kind
Isn't
it
there?
is.
Yeah, I bought
Oh,
so
Yeah.
there's
much.
the
Hey,
Hero
come
Store,
on.
but-
We just don't want games of service. That's why I'm saying, come on.
Yeah, no, we
it's-
don't. No, there is a Helix store, but you can also, if you don't want to use the Helix store, you don't have to, but you can get most items in game at Redder's store, but like it comes slow and you have good weeks and bad weeks, and you can go collect your opal and you can buy them there, so you don't have to buy out of the store.
Yeah, but
And it's
it
only
has like,
cosmetic and the odd weapon.
Yeah.
but I get sucked in every Assassin's Creed. I'm like, oh, I won't buy anything, and then I end up buying like so
But you're
much.
the
Yeah, me
worst.
too.
You always say I'm not
I
gonna
am
buy
really
anything,
bad.
and you buy like half the
Yeah.
stores.
Yes.
Day one.
It's bad.
He does.
It's really bad. I'll be like, oh, that's fine. I'll earn my way through the game, and then I'll struggle with like one level, and I'm like, you know what?
It's the paint. I need a different paint scheme.
I need a different color armor, and it'll help me through this level. You know,
Icarus
bad.
needs to be a different shade of blue.
yeah, that'll get me past. It's bad. It's bad, but
Half of that 1 billion is 3-bit, by the way.
probably. I
Think
feel like I
so?
bought so much on Valhalla, and
Yeah.
I played Valhalla not even that long, so I don't know. You guys know you buy microtransactions.
yeah,
Don't
I
you look
do.
at me like that? I've seen
Hey.
your Halo skins and whatnot. I
I'm almost
No.
free from watching Twitch.
I don't think I've spent any money myself on Halo Infinite yet. Like, except I did
Yep.
buy the first season
What?
battle pass. Kate's bought some stuff.
Mhm.
You bought the cat ears, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that I was like, oh, I gotta get that, you know. And I've been having fun with the game, you know.
I've seen stuff I like, but it's always too expensive for Halo. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not paying
And
$20 for
It has gotten it's
Yeah.
gotten a lot cheaper now. Like I saw like some color skins are like 600.
Yeah, they reduced it by like 60% a lot of items.
Yeah. So I was like, oh wow, that's cool. I mean, it's 600. What is that? $6 pretty much. So
Yeah.
hey, that's not
want an
bad.
option
That's better
to
than $10.
switch. I want an option that shows all of my skins per match. So it like every 5 seconds it switches to
A
another skin.
rotating skin.
Yeah.
So every
That would
time
be-
you die, it's a different skin.
That would just trip me
Yeah,
out if I
it's
was
like,
trying to
oh.
shoot somebody and they just like changed into
Well,
somebody else.
Fortnite kind of does that. You can favorite like skins and you go into a match and it picks a random favorite skin you have.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Random skin generator.
Yeah, because I
Skin
have a
Bob
couple
2.0.
armors. I just keep switching like every 5 seconds. Like I like this armor, but I bought this armor, and I keep like going back and forth.
Yeah, so I think we're.
Oh,
gonna
I bought
see-
the Cloud9 skin in Halo. That's what I did. That's the one I bought.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's sick.
I
I
think
just bought something on Fortnite like 2 days
Did you?
ago. Yeah. Well, I didn't have to. I had like enough stars to get it without having
Oh,
to pay.
You didn't have V-Bucks?
that's the one
I
thing
don't
on
You can
On
earn
Halo
your
is-
way in.
they're gonna eventually allow us to earn money.
Yeah,
in
for
there.
season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that in Fortnite. I thought you had to buy it.
No, it's like a new thing, 3-bit.
Oh,
I had enough
dang.
stars or whatever to get 100 V-Bucks, which is all I needed to get the Bruno Mars dance.
How do you get stars? You just keep playing.
Yeah,
matches?
you earn them by playing.
And if you have the battle pass, then you get more because there's more.
I don't.
opportunities
I don't
for
even
it.
have the battle pass.
Yeah.
There's like little challenges you can do around the map, I think, to earn stars or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought you had to pay. That's interesting.
Yeah, you can earn. I mean, it takes forever to earn enough V-Bucks to buy something. I mean, especially if you don't get the battle pass. But if you just play a lot and you don't care about buying stuff, eventually you'll have enough to buy something cool, right? So that's one thing that's been missing from Halo, and Apex has this too. You know, Apex, you can buy
Yeah.
stuff and unlock outfits and stuff just by playing over time. You know, you don't want to do it as fast as you would by spending money, but you know, it still gives players a chance to save up and get something from the store, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be cool when Halo implements it. But like as far as Assassin's Creed $1 billion game, I think it seems like this is going to be the model going forward for most of their big franchises, right? Like create this big world, monetize the shit out of it, see if you can support it, and create $1 billion franchise. Now, that has
I think
honestly done well for Valhalla, though, right?
yeah.
Like,
I think Division Heartland is going to be their big test for a live service game. Like that's going to be their first true like live
Yeah.
service game they get out. I think is the Heartland game.
that's the free to play one.
Yeah.
Right? So they tried Hyperspace and that failed colossally.
Yeah,
That
there's
was-
that's I think that's shutting down next month or this month or something.
Yes, they're shutting the servers down. But but Valhalla hasn't been the best. I mean the Gods DLC, Pharaoh DLC, sorry, in Origins, no, Odyssey was far better than the DLC you get in Valhalla, far better. And that goes down to which studio's working on it. But like it's just I don't know, I don't know, I'm not finding it as much fun as I did Odyssey. And it's just too much of the same. Like
Right.
if I have to find another oil jar to break another freaking wall, I will scream. I'm sick of it. It's like that's why the Dawn of Ragnarok, even though I bought the Ultimate Edition of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like I always do, still got to pay for this DLC. It's well overpriced at $40. If it was $20 in line with other DLC, it wouldn't have been so bad, but $40 is too much in my opinion. But looking at some of it and seeing what they're doing with it, it is definitely new and exciting. The different abilities you're going to get in that game and the different way it plays, because you play as Odin, a god. So you have different abilities. You can turn into like the fire giants and fool them into
Right.
thinking. So they're bringing the stealth back into it in that sense, where you can turn into a fire giant and fool them and walk on lava and all that sort of thing and not get hurt. And you can also turn into a frost giant and fool
So
them.
crazy.
And yeah, and you can use your raven. You have to kill ravens in the game to take their sort of essence, and then for 30 seconds you can fly your raven and come dive down on people and assassinate them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But once you assassinate, you can't spam it, because once you assassinate somebody, your ability, once you land, your ability is finished for that 30-second
Right.
period. Or if you assassinate somebody, so you can't go into, say, a camp and spam it, if you like. But it's, you know, they've brought in dwarfs and things like that as well, so it's all based around the dwarf community and them helping you. And but from what I've seen, Odin's very rude to them, very rude. I don't like the banter that I've listened to. The dialogue is not that I've listened to so far is not very nice, but he does treat them like shit on your shoe, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good, and I think it should have been in the game. Like this new game they're bringing out, it should have been in Valhalla already, but they decided they've worked on it so long, they're going to make it a standalone game now. The new one that was leaked, but
Yeah.
I just think they could have put this DLC in Ragnarok, in Valhalla, and made it more exciting, and you know, as a full-on game when it was released. But they wanted to make money again,
Yeah.
and they are really stunning you with this $40. So they haven't even announced any of year two's, you know, roadmap yet of what we're getting in year two. They've not announced any of it yet, and we're into nearly March. I was like, what the hell is going on? You know,
Yeah.
but they announced a DLC you've got to buy on top of buying the season's pass and the ultimate option and all of that.
Yeah.
It's really, really annoying.
They're putting out a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff
The
you gotta
money
pay
grab.
for. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so before, like, you would have like Odyssey, it was supported for nearly 2 years,
Hmm.
and you didn't have to purchase anything else. But like with Valhalla, they're saying, oh yeah, you know, we're going to support it for 2 years, and there won't be another Creed game. And then they slap you with $40 for the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC. It's like, what? You
No.
money grabbing assholes.
Yeah, I would be pissed if I bought the season pass and I have to pay $40 now for this DLC that's
I paid £120
supposed
for
to be
the
in
Ultimate
there.
Edition.
Wow. And you still don't get
Yeah.
that? You don't get
No,
that?
we don't know. No, you got the crossover between Odyssey and Valhalla. So you got a whole new island in Odyssey to replay, not to replay, to find and play
Right.
on
Discover.
there. And discover, that's what I couldn't think of it, sorry. So you discover a whole new island in Odyssey, and then you go
Nice.
back to Valhalla, and there's a whole new island in Valhalla. And
nice.
and Eivor and I can't think of the name that's gone at me. Cassandra meet, because
Oh, okay.
Cassandra has the spear, and so she can now go anywhere. And it's hinted at her turning up in Egypt, where Origins was made. So
Ooh.
it's hinted at that, because certain things happen. I'm not going to spoil it, but like all that was free. And that was great to have that extra.
Well, what was it,
island.
free, or was it free if you bought the Ultimate Edition like you did?
It was free for everybody who had Valhalla and played Valhalla.
Okay.
But the DLC roadmap for this year, the second year of Valhalla, we've heard nothing. We don't know what we're getting, what's going into it. Nothing for my money, nothing at all. But all they've done is go on about this Dawn of Ragnarok DLC where you play as Odin, blah blah blah. But it costs you $40.
Wow.
To buy.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. We'll see.
So-
It's a
We'll see.
cash grab, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Again,
Well, it shows why it's $1 billion franchise, I guess.
exactly.
You know?
That's the problem because
For a
most
$1 billion
people like
game.
me,
Yeah.
because most people, this is what I was trying to get at. The $1 billion comes from the DLC that everybody's pre-ordering, because if you pre-order it, you can pre-order it after it's out, actually up to April something. It's out March 10th. You can still pre-order it out up to April. Sometime in April, I can't remember exactly, and you could still get the Twilight outfit and that, but that sort of wasn't known when I pre-ordered it. But yeah, you can still get it way past its release date and still get the Twilight outfit and weapons. And it's all about fire and ice, and it looks very cool. And as I say, I think it should have been part of the the season pass or the ultimate edition. Instead, we have to pay $40. But it's a rip-off. It's Ubisoft through and through, and it makes me mad.
Yeah. That does suck. I got speaking on Ubisoft real quick. Babe, you saw this when you were looking up the thumbnails, when you were creating our thumbnail. You actually thought Skull and Bones looked really cool.
Yep.
Now, are
That's
you
the old book though?
Are you excited because what they said is that this is now a multiplayer focused game. So I think that actually excites you, right?
Yeah.
So, but a lot of
sure.
people may be actually disappointed by this because
I prefer multiplayer. Like
Yeah.
I most likely wouldn't play it if it was single player.
right,
It was always going to be multiplayer.
yeah, they
It's
supposedly have
it's a
switched
game
it
that
3 or
I
4
followed
times.
from. Yeah, they have. They cancelled it. They restarted it. I think they restarted making it 3 times. It's a. I don't understand why they've changed it up so much. I don't like the idea you cannot get off your boat. You can't even. You can't go and fight on the other ship, or you
You
couldn't
can't get off
in-
the boat.
No, you can't.
Ooh.
There's no
Um,
land play whatsoever. Or there wasn't. This is what we don't know, is if they've changed that, why they stopped making it, because we all
Well-
didn't like it. We wanted it to be more like Black Flag. Black
Yeah.
Flag is an awesome game, and it's really fun. And you could have Black Flag without the assassin part in it easily. And I thought it was going to be like that, but actually it's more like you got your ship, you attack other ships within, like in the multiplayer verse, but you also have big like Spanish galleons to fight and stuff like that to get cargo off of them and stuff off of them. And basically you never go on land. You don't have like a pirate hideout like Nassau or anything like that. You just on your ship. And even down to the fact from the gameplay I saw, because I've followed it from the very beginning because I was really excited for it, the gameplay I saw was that you fought these ships, and when you've got them beaten, you would normally board them to take them over. That all happens cinematically. You don't have anything to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the original was supposed to be like a Black Flag style gameplay, and then they wanted to do like this big battle royale, and you couldn't get off. And then the next set of because devs were like, dude, we want to go back to our original idea, and that's what they were supposedly going back to, was the Black Flag style of gameplay, being
I
able
think it
to
was just the
conquer-
like Sea of Thieves was out and everyone was like, hey, look, Sea of Thieves, you can run around, loot other pirate ships and stuff. That's fun. We don't want to just drive a boat, you know? It's like, let's get off the boat and go like sword
Yeah.
people to death.
Yeah.
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 So I think that's what they went back to.
Hopefully.
And
Hope they
then
don't
I think with this multiplayer function, I think they're gonna have add it as an additional thing. So like they did these 2 games per se. So I think they're just gonna add them together. You got your single player co-op style gameplay, and then you have this battle royale gameplay.
Well, it can
in
be
this game.
both. Like co-op, if you're playing as a team, still gives that co-op sense, and maybe there can be PvE and PvP all together, just like Sea of Thieves. So my vision of this is kind of like what Jasper says, like, why not just make it like Assassin's Creed, like Black Flag style, but make it Sea of Thieves, right? Like
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well, that was
It's
the
not
original
gonna-
idea. That
yeah,
was
that
the
was
original
the
idea.
original idea. They were going to sort
But it
of
was more
merge the
focused on
two.
boat combat. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
want to be more like land, like actually sorting people on boats and like fighting over the ship, like on the deck, not just like driving a boat and shooting a
No.
cannon.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that's
was.
what-
Yeah, that
that's
would
what it's
suck,
gonna
kind
be.
of.
I didn't
don't know.
mind.
Or
I
was
mean,
what they
no,
said
not
it was
really. I didn't mind that in Black Flag. I think
But if it was
the-
all that you could do,
yeah, I mean, Black Flag, that's all I wanted to do. I mean, that's not what they were trying
Right.
to do. I think they were trying
No.
to do like inspired by Black Flag, but add a lot more features inside of it. But basically what happened was a lot of the devs kept getting pulled off of the project to go work on Valhalla, to go work on other projects. That's basically what it keeps happening. Like that project isn't a priority for Ubisoft. So I don't know what it is right now because I'm not there.
well, they did the,
Anymore.
like
That
a
must have
earnings.
come
Well,
out
they did
within
an
the next
earnings,
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
2021 update was basically on the earnings call, and they said they're still they've been given increasing ambitious mandate for the game, but they're still working hard on it. Singapore's making it, and you know, I don't like how it was going from what it was originally supposed to have been like, but you know, it will be what it will be. But I wanted a Sea of Thieves, like a grown-up Sea of Thieves, if you like. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted.
Yeah, that would
Where
be
you could
badass.
just roam the seas and you could fight other ships and, you know, be a pirate and take their gear and you know, you've got to, like, I wanted to have a land, like an island that you made your camp.
There's a bunch of boys on it, so it's the Island Boys.
There we go.
Island boys in the pool. No, yeah, I mean, that's eating pizza rolls. No, I really was looking forward to this game. My enthusiasm got dashed a lot. I mean, it's had more holes in it than a galleon with a cannon being fired at it.
Got to carry around some planks.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's still going to be good. It's already 120 million pounds so far, and it's not even finished. So, you know, I hope it's going to be more than what they've nailed in my head with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I've been like sad about it. I was so excited for it, and then my hopes got dashed. And so
I think they
hope
said they want it out by March of 2023, right?
Well, they say late 2022, maybe
Yeah.
early 23. So I'm hoping that it's definitely coming. It's definitely a game. People keep saying, oh no, it's long gone, it's binned, all this. It's not. It's definitely a game that's coming out. How it comes out is another matter. In what state and in
Psycho,
how
get your mind
it's
out the
gonna
gutter.
play.
I didn't say shit, y'all.
What?
Um,
What you done?
No,
he's messing around with Kate's chair. Everybody thinks it looks like a pink Power Rangers chair.
Oh yeah.
It does. Like it's the exact color
cool.
of
Pink
Kimberly's
Power Ranger.
like pink Power Ranger suit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So, also moving on from Ubisoft, I want to talk about Contraband. Because we got word actually yesterday during our friend Archimedes Boxenberger's podcast, World of Gaming. He had Jez Corden from Windows Central on there, and Jez let some interesting things out about stuff he's heard about Contraband, which is a game being developed for Xbox, published by Microsoft, Xbox Game Studios, and it's made by Avalanche, the creators of Mad Max, creators of Rage 2, and a lot of other games. But so it let some interesting details slip and actually kind of caught some headlines around the space internets today. So going into this, Jez actually said, now again, like this is Jez, like this is like not Avalanche saying this themselves, so consider this to be a rumor, right? Although I do think he knows what he's talking about when he says this stuff. He says he got the design brief. It's sort of based entirely around vehicle combat. That we already knew. He said it's a very different type of game. He says basically you plan smuggling runs and heist, and then you execute them. It's sort of like the idea is to not kill your opponents, he said. He said the weapons revolve around disabling enemy vehicles, like taking out the tires and stuff like that, rather than going on massive killing sprees with bloodshed and all that kind of stuff. He said they are going for sort of a more tactical kind of action game where killing is sort of seen as a last resort. So that sounds very kind of interesting. Like
Sounds
a different
Mad
kind of
Maxy.
take.
Yeah,
It
that's
does
what I was
sound-
getting. Like a co-op Mad Max game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like Mad Max.
And these
That'd be
guys
awesome.
made Mad Max, right? So,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Didn't
I'm
think about that.
looking at this is like, okay, this is gonna be like Mad Max, and you're gonna be running heist with your teammates and trying to get away probably with as little loss as possible, and maybe like killing somebody is gonna cause more heat on you potentially, and maybe make you lose more stuff or something like that, or lose rewards and stuff like that. That's what I'm guessing this kind of system could be, and it seems like there's very ambitious and they're very excited for it. I'm wondering when we're gonna see it though.
Maybe like Payday, but with vehicles or something.
Payday with vehicles, right?
Yeah.
But Payday, you want to be stealthy and try and get out of there.
Yeah.
But
And like
shit
if you
hits
get
the
more
fan.
cops on you, you start losing money and stuff, and it takes longer to clean the money.
Exactly.
Have you guys played Smuggler's Run before?
That's what
Yeah.
this was also like. Supposedly an inspiration for this game. Is what
Oh,
people
okay.
have been talking.
That was
about.
a great game.
Yeah.
Rented it
So-
from Blockbuster.
So this is probably going to be a team game more than likely if their main focus is not on the killing aspect. Well, there's nothing wrong with the team game. So this way more people can access the more accessibility for a game. So it's like their sole purpose of what they want is either doing the bank robbery or the heist or whatever you're stealing, and you're not focusing on killing people to get away. You're disabling vehicles, and which is a whole different take on this kind of like, because you kind of get that with GTA Online. With
What's the
that,
time period?
Like in the
70s or 80s?
70s. Yeah. something
Oh,
like that.
cool. Okay.
so pipe cocaine, a lot of cocaine. But it's cool. It's a different take. It's kind of like how the heists like we played on GTA Online. Those were really cool. But you know, GTA, when we finally got to the heist, we didn't try to kill the people themselves. We were just trying to take out the vehicles so they stopped chasing us. So that I like how they're going that route instead of just like massacre, bloodshed everywhere.
Yeah, that's like every game. The GTA.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Going there guns blazing sometimes.
Yeah, but this seems like it could be a lot more strategy involved, more tactics, which is cool because we don't kind of get that a lot in these style of games. It's like go in, gun blazing, get out. So if you got to think about how to escape, take your routes, which way to go, and then they can split depending on how many people, how many vehicles you got, and they try to split us up, and that just throws a whole monkey wrench in the whole plan, because now like what do you do if you got a helicopter on one and a helicopter on another with like three freaking vehicles chasing you? So it throws a whole
So depending
monkey
on
wrench.
the depth of like vehicle combat, like how advanced it is, like this could be Xbox's answer to Twisted Metal. Like you could have a spin-off game mode. It's just like team deathmatch, with like vehicle combat.
Dude.
Nice,
Yeah,
Jasper.
you're talking now, bro. Let's go, bro.
I am
Do it.
wondering, like, will you be able to get out of your car, or is it mostly focused on the car
He
combat?
That's
said
why
it's
I'm
mostly
like-
focused on car combat.
Yeah. So depending on
Oh,
how in
so
depth
yeah,
it is,
maybe-
it could
maybe
be.
twist metal, like a twisted metal type game where maybe you get different gadgets in the car. A picture at the bottom of the screen, you can like switch to like different weapons, and maybe you can shoot out like this sort of
Like
boomerang
70s
thing.
Bond type stuff.
Yeah, like you get a
Yeah,
spear or something
tie
and
around
shoot
someone's
it.
car,
Tire
yeah,
spikes.
like Yeah.
I call the ice cream truck if there is, if it's
That
in game.
oil slick. Remember like the old oil slick trick? You know?
Yeah.
Well, Flacco, it's the 70s, so it's just gonna be a white van.
Yeah.
You could have like the go-go gadget wheels where like just elevates the car really high in the air, you go above another one, you know?
Yeah. Go
Dude,
gadget wheels.
So do we know if this is campaign based or is this multiplayer?
I think
Co-op.
it's
It's just
co-op.
co-op.
And I don't know if that means versus
versus
AI,
AI.
or if it's versus other people.
PvP probably or PvE.
I
sorry.
think it's
So like 2 players working together against the AI.
I was thinking 4.
probably
but-
doing missions.
Yeah, probably
it could be
four.
4 players.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It better not be 3. Just don't give me any more 3
Hey,
player.
you got
co-op
4
games.
spots in the freaking vehicle.
Not
Yeah, I
these,
was like,
not
be
these
4
ones. They're
player.
going to be three seaters.
3 seats. Come on, man. Don't
Is
make
it
it
gonna be like
I don't know why that's becoming a trend with 3 players. Like
because it's
just-
different.
It's
3
been
bit.
4 for years.
no one has 4 friends?
Because it worked for Apex.
just have 3 friends. That's it.
Yeah.
4th one's
Apex-
always
oh,
with his
yeah.
girlfriend now or something, you know? It's like
Ah.
Yeah. You can't
Oh,
have you can't
oh,
have a
is it?
double date on a
No,
3-player
it's
game.
4.
No.
Is Mario Kart 4 or 3?
Mario Kart's at 8.
Mario
That's
Kart's
16.
Like, what are you talking about? 3-player Mario Kart? Like,
I'm just saying. No, she's saying there's like 3. I don't know. Never mind.
It's 4 player. Is it
oh,
4?
don't
I
blame
think Mario
stuff.
Kart
Don't
8 is
blame
8
stuff on your
players.
girlfriend. 3-bit.
I'm not blaming you. Oh my God.
No, don't blame your lack of knowledge and information on your girlfriend. Now
I-
you're already throwing. She's here next to you watching live, and you're already throwing her under the bus.
Next week we'll have her live on the podcast.
What's going on? We need to teach her a lesson. guys.
I'm not blaming it on my girl. I
Okay.
just don't know.
We're gonna cause a
know.
fight
I
tonight,
think-
guys. Let's go.
I just think with if it is 4 players, I'm
Yeah.
just wondering how the mechanics are gonna work and if it's versus each other, like if they'll have a mode where you actually fight the like another player, or if it's mostly focused on 4 players versus AI, which
Yeah.
will be cool. I think it'll be cool to like work together on heists.
That's kind of how
or
Payday
mission.
is, right?
Yeah, Payday is basically you
Like
are
someone has
versus
the
the
drill
AI.
to get the safe open.
Yeah.
Someone has like guns in case it goes loud.
And this could be
Yeah.
different classes too. You could have like different classes have different abilities and stuff, and like you could like maybe level them up, unlock new equipment, all these kind of things. But like maybe the thing is, if it's focused on car combat, that means that everybody in the car has got to play a role unless you're driving multiple vehicles.
That's what I was thinking. Like the driver, like maybe has like driving skills. The passenger maybe has like repair skills, so he like can fix a flat
Oh,
tire
that
like,
would be
real quick.
cool.
Yeah,
And the
Yeah.
backseat people may just like defense or something.
the backseat
Yeah.
driver's like, you missed your turn.
Yeah, backseat drivers. No,
I'm
that'd be
thinking
cool.
they'll just- Hey, it's Pong. Hello.
Special
Pong,
guest
is he there?
tonight.
Hello.
Hi, Pong.
Pong.
We can't hear
We
you.
can't hear
Pong.
you.
Yeah, here you go.
We can see
Can you
your
hear me
mouth.
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right. Well, good, because everything's all messed up. On top of my late night here, I come home, everything on my computer suddenly, again, I love PC, even though I don't technically have a PC. It's a Surface Pro, but it sucks. It still goes through the same problems. All of a sudden, mic doesn't want to work. No programs are popping, nothing. So, hi, everybody.
Welcome to PC life.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Is it plugged in?
Yes.
That's my first question. No, fantastic to see, fam. Chat, all good to see you. And we have an amazing guest here tonight. I heard his voice and about fell over. Like, I don't know where this man finally came from, but 3-bit, thank you for joining us on Xbox Ultimate. Welcome, sir. Big member of the community. Awesome to have you here. Obviously, doing a lot of work in the industry. Man, I'm a big fan. So glad to have you here. Yeah. Looked up to you for a long time, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's been some time. Good to see you, Pong.
You missed him throwing his girlfriend under the bus moments ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not. Okay, I did
Yeah.
not throw her under the bus.
He did.
You said it was 4-player or
Found a
whatever.
bus and
She
pushed
said
it right under
you
it.
said
something.
You said she said 3-player.
He's
3-player. I don't know. It's actually, was it 8?
I think it's 8, like on one switch
Okay.
maybe or something like that. Or is that I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a Switch, so I can't say that. You guys, you're the ones with the Switches. You should know.
I guess it would
this.
be 4 on one Switch, and then 8 for local multiplayer, and then 16 for online multiplayer, maybe.
It was like 8 little boxes on a Switch. That would suck ass.
I
I'm just
still don't have Mario Kart. I have like every other.
Yeah, playing on a 19-inch screen.
Yeah.
You're like,
I think in Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Is 8 players on the Switch.
Yeah. So we were just talking about cocaine, Pong Soul, and Contraband.
It's cool.
Like, were we?
She used to be a friend of mine a long time ago. So yeah, she's
Not
pretty nice.
surprised by that.
He's talking about before they removed it out of Coke cans because he's that old.
Yeah, that's exactly what he meant.
Yeah.
It was the best formula. They should go back to it. Anyways, yeah.
it'd be very popular again.
It would be. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're talking about what's that
Contraband.
game called? No, Contraband.
Contraband.
Contraband. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the new news.
we're trying to decipher like what Jez said, or went through the things that Jez had said on Archimedes Box and Burgers show World of Gaming, that caught the news wave, and we're trying to decipher, is this going to be co-op, like 4-player in one vehicle versus like AI, right? Or is it going to be like multiple vehicles, and there's going to be maybe actual opponents there, like a PvP is a component as well? And then Jasper hit us with an amazing thought. If this is completely car combat focused type of game where you're disabling enemy vehicles and stuff like that, he said maybe they could have a separate mode where it's like Xbox's version of Twisted Metal thrown in there as well.
Yeah,
you
could do that.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting a PvE slash PvP. I thought the possibility was there that you were not only going to be fighting AI, but you might be kind of doing the whole competition with another crew, trying to
Like
pick
a
up
raid?
pick up the product or whatever else, or one crew goes in, the other crew waits for them and jumps them, kind of like the game. What's the one that failed so miserably? But you guys played it. The Robin Hood one. What was that? Hood Outlaws and
Legends.
Yeah.
You got the strategy of you can kind of wait for people to go get the product and then hijack it.
Yeah, that's
that's what I always thought of when they first talked about this. Now Jez clarified a little bit, and it sounds like it's definitely going to be a lot more strategy. So that's going to be interesting because I believe, at some point you're going to have to get out of the vehicle and go pick up the product, right? Whatever you're going to load. So you're going to have to.
It's like Fast and the Furious style, where
you just run over a cardboard box and it appears in your car.
What if you're taking product from like 18-wheelers, like Fast and Furious? You know what I mean?
That's possible too. I was going to say, are we going to space? Because that'd be pretty sweet. But
Fast and Furious 1 style. Fast and Furious 1.
Okay, all right. I like Fast and Furious 1. We could do that. That's going to be interesting how they do that, because it definitely sounds like the strategy in this game is going to be like necessary. And like, if you are caught, I think you guys kind of talked about Payday or whatever else. Like, you can sneak in and out and get things done, but if stuff gets hot, it gets really frantic. And I can only imagine with like the vehicles, like if you get caught and you're loading the stuff up and you got to get out of there, and all of a sudden you got to chase and you got people all over, that's going to be kind of cool. I'm very interested to see how they pull it off. Avalanche, Mad Max's fantastic vehicle control and combat. So hopefully they're going to lean into that heavily, which I'm assuming they will. But it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. This could be like a really unique multiplayer co-op title.
I don't like a Hunt Showdown or like Tarkov game, but like with cars.
With cars?
Yeah.
So
you have the bots and you also have players running around. So it's like really sneaky and like hardcore.
Right. That's what, God, man. Again, it's such a fresh idea with vehicles, especially if that's the main focus, which just keep saying that's the main focus of the vehicles. Like, we have a lot of co-op multiplayer stuff out there right now, but nothing like that. So if they pull this off, it definitely could be one of those titles that comes out of the blue and kind of surprises people. People are like, damn, this is a sweet idea. Why didn't anybody else ever think about this? I don't know. Interesting stuff, man. They could go a lot of different
see some
ways.
innovation for sure if everyone was in the same car and they all had different roles. Like I could see more innovation in that.
Yeah.
than if everyone was like in different cars.
Right.
But we'll see what they end up doing.
Maybe some jobs are bigger, right? And you gotta have like a truck, and then you got the vehicle that's kind of like the bodyguard vehicle that some people are in that to protect the truck, and you got to get the truck back without getting destroyed or whatever else or hijacked or whatever. That would be interesting too, to have that.
Yeah. And I know they because they did Mad Max, if they were really inspired by Smuggler's Run, which was which Mav said they were inspired by, and then also mix that with Mad Max, where maybe more so like the movie, maybe you can jump onto other vehicles, maybe you can like focus on like destroying their tires and keeping the vehicle alive, since it's not focused on killing. Like you could do a lot of cool things with traps and revolving the gameplay around that, rather than I don't know, just like the whole Twisted Metal is pretty. I haven't played it in years, but from what I remember, it's like you're the car and you have like weapons on top of your car, and you're pretty much just shooting the other vehicles.
Yeah,
and running into them. Yeah,
and running into them. However, you need to destroy them. Destroy them. Yes.
That was pretty much the gameplay. So I think if it's not focused on killing, then what they'll do is more so. It could be a mixture of that, but when I think of Mad Max, I think of the new one. I think of them jumping onto the other car. I think of them jumping on their own car and trying to throw traps underneath the wheels and stuff like that. So if they do anything like that, that would be really cool. I think that the setting is really interesting. The fact that it's not futuristic, it's more so in the past. So usually when you pick a time setting in development, it's for a reason. Like there's certain things you don't want the player to experience, and there's certain things you want them to experience. So I'm wondering what the reason was for the time period. If it's like certain cars they want you to have, maybe certain weapons they want you to access, not super futuristic weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun title for sure.
So somebody can get on like your truck, like while it's moving, and you're getting to the point, and they could start chucking the product out the back.
Start swerving.
And their team, their team can come pick up the product that's in the road, and then they get a portion of it. Dude, there's a lot of different.
Sound like you're speaking out of experience, Pong.
No. Thinking of all like the Indiana Joneses and the Miami Vices and all that kind of stuff.
Sea of Thieves, like sneaking on the back of a boat and Sea of Thieves,
right.
Just throwing the treasure.
Right, right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So also, more news came out today about possibility of another big Avalanche game. This was due to listings for hiring. And talking about the biggest project that they've ever done, even beyond Contraband, which previously they said was the most ambitious project they've ever done. And this new other project's supposed to be like a big open world action adventure game, according to the hiring listing. So who knows what that's going to be, but that sounds pretty intriguing too. Like Avalanche, it seems like they got a lot going on. I'm just curious who would be publishing that game. You think it could be a double dip there by Microsoft, or maybe somebody else?
Yeah, I was going to ask where the funding's coming from for something that ambitious and that big compared to what they've been doing, right? Because by the sounds of how it read, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be the biggest project ever, right? So where's that funding coming from? Interesting. But yeah, it could be the Microsoft, or it could be, they get done with Contraband. They're working on this one in the behind the scenes. We're still a few years out from this new one, or a couple years out from this new one being talked about or announced. And next thing you know, they're underneath Xbox umbrella anyways, right? So definitely a possibility. I love Avalanche.
What do you think a possibility of like a Rage 3?
I don't think they go back to Rage.
No.
I think Rage is done.
Yeah, I think Rage is done too.
I can't see it. It just doesn't have enough.
The only reason I bring that up is because they already had ties with Bethesda and ZeniMax before the Xbox acquisition of them, and then now they're making at least one game we know of for Xbox, and it seems like this Avalanche is just too much of a good fit. If I was to like place a big money bet on any one acquisition that's maybe already happened or close to being done, it would be that one, right? And I'm just curious now because maybe they saw, okay, Contraband's going well. We're gonna put that ring on that finger and invest in this other game, right?
Yeah. And like you said, it makes sense because they've worked with Bethesda, so they slide easily underneath Bethesda, right? And they could just become a studio underneath ZeniMax, right? Since that's still on its own.
Microsoft did want to make any purchases of studios, because I think a lot of other studios know that Microsoft is not in a huge position to acquire like anyone huge besides Activision. Maybe they, in order to counteract that, where Sony would probably take advantage, like, hey, maybe I can take advantage of buying these big studios while Microsoft is going through the transaction of the FTC. I could see Microsoft purchasing a lot of smaller studios, maybe in between, since it might take a year or so to acquire Activision, like a studio like Avalanche or whoever else. I guess they're close with that. I can't think of right now, but I think
IO Interactive.
IO would be a pretty good one where it's not like a huge purchase, but having Microsoft having a good relationship with IO and with Avalanche, I could see them purchasing them as the transition of Activision becomes a thing with the Microsoft teams. Just because they're kind of vulnerable, and right now the space right now is acquisition season. Like there's so many studios that are willing to be acquired right now, or are Microsoft or these big studios. Yeah, it's just it is what it is. It's like an acquisition race right now to acquire some of these studios. And Microsoft has stated very previous in the previous terms that they want to acquire Activision, but also they're looking at companies like Amazon, Google, right? And I think Google's out of the race, so they don't have to worry about them quite as much unless they are serious about gaming again. I don't think they have the people necessarily in place to take a lot of games or acquisitions that seriously. But Amazon, I still think, is in the race, and that's a company to look out for. Embracer is another company to look out for, where they could honestly start their own service at this point if they really want it. With the amount of studios that Embracer has, they could start their own console, they could start their own service if they wanted. So I think in between this year, I'm pretty sure Microsoft's going to have talks where they're like, okay, this is most likely going to take a year for this Activision to for this acquisition of Activision to go through. So let's see some other smaller studios we can do in between that time, because that's, I mean, it just makes sense.
Going to be June 2023
for Activision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the deadline. That's when they're hoping.
I think they get it done before then.
Yeah.
So
I think they'll probably get it done before then, but that's the date that they want it to be done by.
Yeah, they want it to be done by the end of fiscal 2022, which ends in June of 2023 or something like that.
And they have to spend, but they have to spend a certain amount of money by the end of this year, right?
Or that's fantasy.
Is that
they
not
don't
true?
have to spend anything, right?
No,
like,
no, and it's not video game money per se either.
Yeah, like
no.
That whole thing.
It's not a franchise, is it?
So why do people say that? Do they just say that because of like
inflation,
the money?
For
like the value of the money goes down.
Yeah,
for tax reasons, but they'll spend it, but they'll spend it in house on working on different games and studios and stuff.
And that's not Xbox money. That's Microsoft money. So Microsoft is going to go buy some more tech companies too. So that's still on the table.
And the other thing is, like, they're not going to spend all of their money.
Yeah, not
right?
every
Like
penny.
people like say, well, they have to spend this amount of money. They're not going to they have a certain amount of cash reserves, right? That they can use on doing this stuff. And people's like, well, they got to spend this because, it's going to go down in value because of inflation and all this stuff. So they have to spend that, or tax purposes, all this stuff. they're not gonna go and spend and leave themselves $0 in cash
No,
reserves.
what business
Right?
does, that's not good business
No.
practice to leave yourself with no money to.
Yeah, people
to
are saying that
back
about
shit up.
Sony too. They're like, oh, they
So
have
funny.
to spend a certain amount, but I know like
No.
there is a certain budget that Sony has where they're like, okay, we have this amount of money to acquire studios, to fund studios, et cetera, each year. More so Sony and Nintendo than Microsoft. I think Microsoft has a lot more leeway in what they decide to do with Xbox going forward. But I keep seeing people say like they have to spend this amount of money, but it doesn't necessarily make
It's
sense.
just a
I think
comment, like-
Microsoft has kind of locked down their gaming like purchases for this year. Unless if something like really big like comes up on the table, like I think they're going to focus more on like AI or other like tech fields to like try to get them more developed into the metaverse or whatever they see that as.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll probably pick up a couple more little small like other studios, Avalanche, possibly Asobo, other not I wouldn't say one-off studios, but the smaller acquisitions to kind of help full out that that roster that we, if you kind of
Certain
want to get
Affinity,
those
I could see.
certain affinity, IOI, there's so many that we are just hearing, even Bandai Namco, that
What is Namkai Bando? Or
Namkai Bando, yeah.
Namkai Bandai?
Namkai Bando.
Or whatever.
But we'll see. It's nice to this generation. It's nice to be able to sit back and be like, I wonder what studio Microsoft's going to pick up. It's a whole different generation right now, and Microsoft's in a good spot. And once these games start rolling out, like Pong said, it's the golden age of gaming.
Yeah. Right now, what they need is that Activision Blizzard deal to go through. They don't need anything else, but they may be open to acquiring other things, or also have already had deals on the table. I think the Avalanche thing could have already been something that was already in the works and happening. IO Interactive could be a possibility. Certain Affinity could be a possibility. Crystal Dynamics could be a possibility. All those four are way more likely than any other big publishers right now. All four of those are more possible before the Activision Blizzard deal goes through. After that, then we could see another publisher at some point. But like until then, like we were talking earlier, Pong, before you were here, for me, it's like a chess moves by these companies and what the decisions are going to make, because there's only so many of these publishers, big ones, that are available, that are potentially willing to sell. Some of them are looking to become larger themselves by merging and doing other moves like Take-Two and such like that, right? But I think that, like I said earlier, I think like, Sony may look at, okay, well, Ubisoft is saying they want to acquire them, but then if they acquire them, does that make it more likely the Activision Blizzard deal is going to go through without any hurdles? Like, who knows exactly what all kind of decisions they're weighing. Also, if they were to acquire like Ubisoft, does that mean they can't afford? Somebody made up a good point yesterday. Does that take Square off the table for them in the future as well? Like, so different things. They got a certain amount, and it's like all chess pieces, and there's only a certain amount of them, and they got to try and weigh like value for us, what makes the most sense for us in the future, and all of this. And Activision Blizzard is by far the biggest move any of these companies are going to make, unless there's something like who else is more valuable in the gaming space than Activision Blizzard publisher wise? I mean,
Take-Two?
Take-Two is the closest thing.
Take-Two's like only half.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
they're like 40, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Embracer Group.
Yeah, Embracer Group.
I don't know. It's interesting, Matt, because we talked about this last night or on Thursday night as well. Like, it is, the chess moves here are going to be something to watch, because like 3-Bit was saying, and we talked about this on Thursday, was right now there is a unique opportunity for anybody who was going to do some moves, but was wondering if Microsoft was going to come in at the last minute, or was going to just make it. Nobody can outbid Microsoft for something they want. But now with this Activision Blizzard deal, they are handcuffed right now. So if you are somebody out there looking to make a move, this is the time. right? This is your moment because Microsoft can't come in and do anything about it, right? So it's definitely prime time this year. And I think that's why the analysts are talking about $150 billion plus spent on acquisitions this year. Like, everybody's got to remember the Activision Blizzard deal was out of the blue too. Whatever plans Microsoft had, and there was obviously plans, whether there was deals already in the works, already inked, or being talked about, the Activision Blizzard deal just blew all those up.
Yep.
And forced them to change their entire roadmap of acquisitions if they had one, which I'm sure they did. So, because that was one that was unexpected. It was something that fell into their lap because of everything that happened to Activision Blizzard and because the phone calls were made and they were looking for somebody to buy them, which I'm sure even internally, Xbox was wondering if that was going to be something that was even possible at some point. So this blew everything up. All their plans are out of the water. So I definitely think that shifted the entire industry too, for those people out there looking to make a move now. This was probably unexpected that Xbox would be handcuffed by such a gigantic deal. So now everybody's got to be going, let's get our ducks in a row. We got to get these deals done if we're going to do them before Microsoft frees up. And all of a sudden Godzilla is back on the playing map again, right? That's basically what it is, right? So interesting times.
Hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, that's basically what it is.
They got about a year to make some moves.
No,
yeah, I think the deal gets done by the end of the year. I think Microsoft's going to push it. They're going to give in to whatever the government asks for. They're going to
have an army of lawyers to get this done.
They're going to grease everybody's pockets and they're going to get this thing done by holiday. Because like Mav and I were talking about, man, how freaking amazing of a holiday would it be when you got Starfield launching and then all of a sudden you get to go, oh, by the way, all of Activision Blizzard games are now in Game Pass.
And we need to rent out a stadium for our Christmas party.
Boom. That's like a nuke, right? So crazy times. Crazy. I think they try to push it through by the end of the year. We'll see if it happens now that, government could drag its feet and put all sorts of roadblocks up. But I think Xbox and Microsoft are going to do everything possible to make that happen.
Yeah. I got to get to this. Holy cow. Very generous $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Bold Alpha Wolf Pack. It's a very bold name too. Again, appreciate.
Thank you, my friend.
And I got a question for Pong here. Pong Soul, the Eastern market, is going to be worth quite a few billion in a few short years. What do you think is going to be Microsoft's best avenue into that market? Do you see them developing a new IP geared towards the Eastern gaming market? Question mark.
Ooh, that's a big one. We talked about that plenty too. Number one, first of all, they got to get their localization down pat over in the East. That's a big problem Microsoft has had across the entire world is their localization. They have not taken that
worldwide yet.
Correct. They have not taken it seriously enough
worldwide
to make that happen. So they got to get the right people in place over there and they've got to build their relationships. I believe that there's still a chance that after this Activision Blizzard deal is done, the next publisher is going to be a Japanese publisher, which would be huge, whether it's Sega, Capcom, whoever. That would be huge. However, outside of that, I have been stating that my own personal thought is they need to start looking at the emerging markets over there in Korea, in China, in India. They need to make sure that they're jumping into those fresh markets. The Korean market, the Korean developers right now are blowing up. That Pearl Abyss, bro, they're putting out some of the sweetest looking games that we've seen. And you see these independent developers within China really coming up too. So they need to make some inroads. China's going to be a lot harder just because of the whole politics thing, right? That's going to be very hard to do. But they got to maybe lure some of those devs out of China if they can. But otherwise, Korea, I would focus my efforts on Korea. Korea is up and coming.
Yes.
100%.
Amazon's
they are
doing great with them right now.
Yes, with Smilegate. Exactly.
Yep.
Smilegate is blown up with Lost Ark. We have seen so much high quality stuff coming out of Korea. They could be the next Japan when it comes to video games. And I'm not saying that to be over dramatic. Korea has a lot of untapped potential. So I would get in there early if Xbox can. And I think they've tried to make some inroads. They got to just do better. They got to heavily invest over there. That would be my way of doing it for sure.
Well, I don't know if you remember back, I think it was like last year or so, where there was the Korean individual that was from He wasn't Xbox Korea, but he represented a lot of the Korean talent devs over there, and Xbox who actually came out and was like, hey, let's talk. And they were behind the scenes. I don't know what happened, because guess what? I have not heard from that account since.
Yep.
It's gone. They have gone
You
quiet.
saying they've assassinated them?
No, that
Who knows? Who knows?
some could have be in the works,
Right.
like a Xbox Korea that we don't know yet. They haven't
Yeah,
announced.
They got to move into those markets. And Elvin, you were
Yes.
absolutely correct. I called that as well. StarCraft 3 would go a long ways if they get this deal done. And one of their first announcements is StarCraft 3. It would be gigantic worldwide, but in Korea, boy, would they have a lot of kudos in there. That's for sure.
Ooh.
And I think that just to top off that question, don't forget they've got, I forget what was the exact number that Sarah Bond used, that they're working with indie developers in Japan, right? They're working with hundreds of indie developers in Japan right now. That starting small kind of thing in a spot that you're not necessarily popular in is going to go a long ways towards the future. So I think they should definitely do the same in Korea. Find some young, small, talented indie developers over in Korea and really show them the red carpet. That word of mouth will spread. And if you pump out their games and you publish them and then go ahead and advertise the heck out of them, market the heck out of them over in their home country or home places, that's going to be big for Xbox, having their name attached to that as well for those homegrown heroes. Everybody loves the homegrown story. It's no different anywhere else in the world. Everybody loves to see people that they could possibly know or do well. And for a big company like Xbox to take interest in those smaller developers like that, that's going to earn them a ton of kudos as well. So
Yeah, facts.
Heck yeah.
I agree with you, Pong.
They can also go and get
Thank you,
platinum
Psycho.
games, and this is the thought.
checks in the mail.
Thank you.
Platinum games, and people like, oh, they burned us, you know what I mean? But if you start coming out with some really badass action, hack and slash Japanese style games, like they've done made in the past.
He's Badre on some anime characters, Slice Dragons. Yeah.
No, the thing is, like, Scalebound is like so just a thing to me about Platinum. Like, I don't care about Scalebound per se.
Yeah, I don't
as
either.
much as if Scalebound got you the relationship with Platinum and actually caused this acquisition to happen, if that's what it took. I'm looking for other things from Platinum in the future. The Bayonettas,
Yeah.
Is Bayonetta 3 even out yet?
Yeah.
no.
No,
Not yet.
no, not yet. No, not
Platinum
yet.
Games has been
But
disappointing.
it's only coming on
It-
Switch.
Switch.
But
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
only
de-
going to Switch.
been made for like 10 years in development or something
If
like
they
that.
made Nier
Yeah,
Automata,
something
they
like
made
that.
Astral Chain, they made, Vanquish, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. They know what they're doing with that genre, right?
Mhm.
And that's very popular. And it's something that's kind of, you could see if there's a void on Xbox, it's games like that. They haven't had a lot of them. Ninja
And now they
Theory-
want to do something different too.
Ninja
Right?
Theory is capable of making those as well. Because Ninja Theory made DMC, right? Which I know Devil May Cry fans didn't like it because it kind of messed with their franchise a
love
lot.
it.
But gameplay wise, oh my god, the game was great, right? They also made Heavenly Sword and a lot of those. But that's not what Ninja Theory is making now. That's not what they're making.
Didn't they also make that like MOBA free to play game that came out on Xbox like 2 years ago? I forgot what it was
The
called.
Bleeding Edge?
Bleeding Edge? Yeah.
Bleeding.
Yeah. That's my daughter on her Oculus. Nice. Hi, Kaylee. She can't hear it.
Daddy, I hear you.
What's she
I
playing?
can't see you.
She's probably in like one of those like. That's great. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's just so much potential there, and I think it could happen with others. People say, well, they have a Japanese studio, Takeo Gameworks. Well, they're a horror game studio, and that's also like kind of similar to a direction that Ninja Theory is as well. They kind of make the dark
They also just put out a
psychological
mobile
stuff.
game, I think.
Who Ninja?
They did just
Tango?
hire the
Yeah, Tango, they just put out a mobile game or something, didn't they?
I don't think
Tango
so.
GameWorks.
I
don't
know
know if they
Tango
did.
Game works.
maybe they did.
I think
They
they
just
did.
hired, but they did just hire the Bayonetta director. So
Yes, they did.
Mm.
Right. They have another game being created right now This is a game nobody's talking about because we don't know what it is, but it's another project that we know is in the works. That's going to be an Xbox game.
They announced a Japanese only
Oh,
mobile game. That's what it was.
Hero
Okay.
Yeah.
Dice. Hero Dice.
Yeah.
Yes, we saw
like
it at E3. Me and Lady liked the look of it.
Hero Dice?
Dice.
It's
Yeah,
a
Dice-
Japanese
Dice
game only available on iOS and Android devices. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if that's something they were already
not-
working on, or it's interesting.
no.
But yeah, they got another
Okay.
game being made by John Johannes, who was the director of Evil Within 2.
Look at how different Ghostwire Tokyo is, right?
Yeah, man, that
I
game
So
looks
they're
love
awesome.
the
really-
hand movements
It
of
looks
that game.
freaking amazing.
Like
I've been
the
on that
animation
since
too.
day one. Yeah, that whole scene. Did you see the scene where he pulls that heart out of there?
Yeah.
Oh,
That,
yeah.
that like that ghost, he like transforms him to like turns into like this neon, and like his chest opens up and he reaches in to grab out his heart. It looks so freaking cool,
Ooh, I don't
man.
know if I saw. I
Yeah,
mostly
I
seen
can't-
like smaller gameplay segments where he's like doing like really cool hand movements and like pulling like the
I
strings,
know it's like
Yes.
and
Naruto.
like combining it to like a bomb. Like
yes,
really cool. Really cool.
really
Different,
different,
I'm
right?
looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yes,
Original,
really
creative.
different. Yeah.
So also moving on from this, we also have information from Jeff Grubb that says this is the first positive news I've ever heard about Dragon Age 4. He says Dragon Age 4 is in very good shape. They're hitting their milestones. The game is on schedule. It's and it's maybe about 18 months out. Oh my gosh. It's like, thank you, Jeff Grubb, for making me have hope for Dragon Age again. I don't know where he heard this this stuff from, but this is a game that they need to get right. Right?
EA would have
Where can I-
showed something about that though already.
Well,
EA usually teases it like 4 or 5 years in advance.
well,
and,
they
like, I don't know.
did. They teased it. They showed it at the Game Awards. They had a little trailer.
Keep showing concept art of it.
Yeah. But then they haven't shown much, and that's been led to a lot of concern. Even the last time we got updates they gave us more updates on the possibility of what's happening with Mass Effect than Dragon Age the last time they made a post on their website. So I was really getting concerned here about Dragon Age, but it sounds like Jeff is putting my mind at ease a little bit. If they're actually hitting milestones and all this kind of stuff, usually that's a good sign, right? That things are going well. So shout out to him. Thanks for making me not worry. Anybody else Dragon Age fans here excited about that?
Yeah. Old school Dragon Age fans.
Yeah, like 1 and 2, but
BioWare, real BioWare Day fan. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm
Didn't
still
like
kind of sad that they.
Inquisition?
no,
it was fine.
Inquisition was.
It was okay. I didn't mind it. I actually liked the multiplayer in that. I actually
it
liked
was
those.
pretty good.
That was pretty damn cool. Actually, I played a ton of that. But I just think that it's not the same BioWare. I'm still nervous about what we're going to get out of this. It's nice to hear that it's on a good path. I can't wait to see something more out of it. Obviously, I'm all about RPGs, so man, I'm looking forward to it. I am disappointed though that they're not going to remake the old ones.
They just put out a big update
really
for
wish
the
they
Old
would've.
Republic, so
Yeah.
and that's doing pretty good for him.
I just wish they would go back and give them the Mass Effect treatment. I think it deserves it, the old Dragon Age ones. So I'd like to see that happen, but we'll see. Again, like you said, Mav, it's been a long time since we had any good news. It's been pretty doom and gloom for Dragon Age. So
Yeah.
this is good news. Hopefully they can hit it. Seems like a lot of aggressive dates being thrown around right now by a lot of different games. Skull and Bones and all that kind of stuff that we've heard is near vaporware. All of a sudden, oh yeah, it'll be out next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kinda what this-
Okay.
Like there's lots of information out there, like just little random stuff that keeps happening. I think they're doing these because we don't have all this huge news to discuss. So they're looking at it as opportunities. Okay, we're gonna get some information out there and they'll let people talk about our game a little bit, right? While they're not talking about all this other stuff. So also Starfield you shared this in our DM, Pong. Starfield is aiming for a very realistic and I guess the art team had this tagline that they've been using with the direction called NASA Punk. They kind of go with a realistic approach, right? Of taking the timeline from where we are today, but moving it forward with technology. But also having that vibe, that kind of edgy vibe a little bit, right? So
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
badass.
This has me all sorts of hype now. Like every time either Todd Howard or somebody that starts talking about Starfield, I'm like, like, come on, NASA punk, like seriously, that realistic astronauts, but with a futuristic equipment and being able to explore the galaxy. I just wonder if the vastness of what No Man's Sky wanted to be, if this is going to be that. If we can go to like distant planets, I don't know how vast this is
I
going to
think
be.
it's gonna be smaller scale. It's gonna be like a whole galaxy. It'll be like maybe a solar system or two. I wouldn't think like a whole galaxy and like going in black holes to another galaxy. Like I don't think it's gonna be that big.
Depends on
Just
how big.
picturing what I mean. I guess you could compare it to whatever they did with like Skyrim, like, but it's a little bit different because now you're traveling. You, based on what they have said, you are traveling to other planets.
I think the
to-
planets will be more in depth than No Man's Sky for sure. Like
It
Maybe,
needs
yeah.
to be.
I haven't seen No Man's Sky recently, but I know No Man's Sky has had a lot of updates since the last time I played it, which was like release. But
Yeah, they got
I'm
another
think-
one dropping now too. So they're
Yeah,
adding
doesn't that come out like
completely
now,
different game.
or-
Yeah, it's like a completely different game.
yeah? Well, I mean, it's hard to say because we haven't seen gameplay of Starfield, but you can just base it on some of the different interviews that Todd has had, or just different snippets that they've said that they wanted this game to be, which is traveling. Seems to be a huge part of it, traveling to different galaxies, exploring different places, and a term I believe use was Skyrim in space. So if I were to just think about that, of like what that would be like in terms of a sci-fi type game, it'll just be mostly visiting different planets, possibly other solar systems. I'm not exactly sure
Traveling
how.
at light
I
speed.
think it's gonna be
Spaceship.
closer to the Outer Worlds than it would be to like No Man's
Yeah.
Sky.
Yeah, maybe Outer
Mm.
Worlds, but way bigger than Outer Worlds. I'm sure, because this game has been in development for quite some time, but
Yeah.
probably similar. It's like if you were thinking about in terms of traveling to different places, maybe Outer Worlds is the
Yeah.
closest I can
It could
think
be.
of.
Maybe the DLC be different black holes. They can be like this galaxy. That could be their DLC. They
Like-
drop. Here's a new galaxy. There you go.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
I'm just excited to see what the mod community does with this game, because
Oh my
Bethesda
God.
opens up their games to the modding community, and that's not going to change, they said. So
And Phil said he wants to embrace the modding community more on the console as well. So
does that,
this could be the
remember,
first big foray into that.
Get
along
my
with
Star
Forge
Trek
for
ship,
Halo.
fly around in a Star Trek
Yep.
ship.
Yep.
No,
The
Millennium
Enterprise,
Falcon.
Yeah.
the Enterprise, the Falcon. If the modding community introduces those, oh man, that'd be so
Light speed is within our grasp.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
there's a
Yeah, I
lot of
don't know.
possibilities with that. It's gonna be insane.
That's
But, it's gonna be
similar to
something
Mass
dumb like
Effect,
putting
but
Hulk
without
Hogan
the
as a
chat.
spaceship and you fly around.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be as big as something like No Man's Sky, because I think they have something very specific. Todd's talked about this in an interview. That they want it. That the team built this game around the question of why are we here, right?
Right.
What's
Yeah.
what, and that's what this is
Yeah.
going to be. That sense of discovery and finding why humans are here, right? So I think it's going to take us to multiple planets, obviously, in this mystery type setting of trying to figure out why we're here. There's obviously going to be something deep or something profound that has been discovered that we're out there searching for the reason why or the answers to. And I think that we're going to hop from planet to planet, meeting all these different types of humanoids and all these different colonies. And obviously there's factions involved that are going to be warring, that are going to be kind of in between
Have they
us
said
and
there's
our
aliens?
goal. So they have not confirmed that there's
They
actual alien humanoids.
So
There's
Star Trek
there's
then.
animals. There's animals for sure, alien animals, but nothing humanoid that
They
confirmed.
said that interesting things regarding around when they were talking about the story that of the universe that they have to create with like species and
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like more realistic, like to our like what we know of the universe as of now, not like
so
the
there could be
futuristic.
this could be the point in this game where we discover that for the first time.
Like,
Maybe
why
we're
are we
searching
here?
for the
What
like
is a
maybe we're
human?
searching for
They're
extraterrestrials,
like the Prometheans or something. We
Yeah,
find
so-
like a Promethean type race or something.
Our creators, our creators,
Yeah.
our supposed creators. Yeah.
It's very interesting. And the other thing, like the difference between a game like No Man's Sky and this is 100% developed around a story,
Narrative,
dialogue, narrative, and you can't just like have randomness like out of like
random generated planets.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to work. So this is like very everything that they
focused.
created.
Random generated dialogue.
Yeah.
Now that'd be sweet.
Whoa!
Just never know what somebody's gonna say.
Hi, your
We need
shoes
some
are my
new
ears,
Klingon
and it's hairy
language.
outside.
That'd be
We need new languages like Klingon.
yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. We need to learn
And there's
new
going to
languages.
be that.
Yeah.
There's going to be new
Yeah.
languages in this. Like they had to
Yeah.
create from scratch, and there's going to be all of this stuff. It's going to be really interesting. You know,
I mean, they've done that for like Elvish and stuff
Yeah.
for like Elder Scrolls. So
but everything that
I
they've
was-
created within this is going to have a purpose, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I always found it interesting that where Todd he said in multiple interviews that this is a game he wants to make for quite some time, and you've had Fallout where it's kind of the future, it's like a post-apocalyptic future, and then the past, which is basically Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, and this is very much and it does play around in different genres with both of those games, and now we're finally getting a sci-fi game from Bethesda. And I guess I'm more stoked for this game than any other game coming out this year. So I'm really looking forward to what they got going on with this game. And I know they're probably not going to show gameplay for it up until months before it comes out, because that's usually how just Bethesda rolls.
E3 baby.
Yeah, E3. They might show something. Well, they definitely show something for E3. I'm sure. But I've seen so many people complain like, "Oh, there's no gameplay. Don't be excited for it." That's a whole other conversation that I'm sure Pong and Matt probably touched on, because I definitely would touch on that. But here's the thing: be excited for what you want to be excited for. If you're a fan of Bethesda games, then this is the game for you. I would think, and you know, Todd, like there's different Bethesda games that I find are absolutely amazing, and the one people keep referencing is like Fallout 76. They're like, oh, that's why all Bethesda games are bad, right? Because of Fallout 76. And you look at the state of Fallout 76 now, it's a lot better than what it was when it initially launched. And then that's the only game you're sort of referencing. I would say like at least have a catalog of games like I hate this game. They usually just keep saying Fallout 76, but I'm really excited for. I love sci-fi, so I'm really excited for Starfield. I think it's going to be really cool. If you just say the tag Skyrim in space, then I'm down.
Dude, you just put space and I'm done. Like
yeah, I mean, I love sci-fi. And I love Skyrim. Skyrim was very addicting to my soul. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun game for sure.
There's going to be a lot of crow being eaten.
I think it's going to be a mix between like Star Trek, Mass Effect, Outer Wilds, like
Star
a mix
Wars.
of everything.
Yep. It is. You're
It'd be
absolutely right. Lupa.
amazing.
It's going to be a once in a generation experience. Just
So
like
we're
every
gonna
single
have-
one of Todd's
We should have
18
to wait and
games are.
see. The way
We're gonna
they
have
keep
bullet
releasing
guns or we're gonna have
bloody games
phasers?
these days.
That gun looked like it still shot bullets when they drop off on the desk, but it's hard to tell.
I think it'll be more
Yeah.
like kinetic, like
It could be
like,
kinetic,
yeah.
yeah, something. Yeah, it could be.
Um,
It could be.
All right, so I wanted to touch on this too, guys. We talked about this a lot yesterday, Pong, but EA is coming out and retracting their statements, saying that no, we were misinterpreted. It's not Halo's fault. That's not what we were saying. We were taken out of context.
What?
Bro,
What?
I was gonna jump in when I jumped in here. I was gonna jump in by saying, "Don't worry, everybody. It wasn't what EA really meant. Okay, they
Yeah.
weren't saying that Halo was at fault at all because
Oh.
context. They just make it worse. They just
It's
make
out
it.
of
They can't help
context.
themselves. They can't help themselves. We have the direct quotes. We have paragraph quotes, not just like little snippet. We have actually paragraph quotes from the COO of your company, specifically referencing Halo as one of the issues. Please do not tell me there's no context. Please.
Oh my
Please.
God.
God,
It's hilarious to me.
There's nothing to see here, folks. No, that was nothing. We need to delete those from the internet.
Yeah,
It
but
was-
did you not feel a sense of progression?
It was actually internal reflection, I think is what they used, right, Matt? Internal reflection,
Yeah.
something like that. They said it was actually internal reflection that we were doing. Hard internal reflection. Oh, okay.
It's,
all right.
it's so
Hard
bogus.
internal
Like, how many times do they need internal reflection? Like, do you guys honestly think that
Daily.
this game, Battlefield, is the one game that they have learned their lesson, and new future games they'll never do what they
Yeah.
just did with Battlefield? Like, do
They
you
said
guys
it doesn't work
honestly-
anymore, so we'll see. You know, there
But
was
they-
also another
no.
article
Like-
that Pong shared with us.
I
Today
don't believe
about
that for a second.
buggy
don't
games
believe
like
that for a second.
costing billions of dollars to these companies now.
Well, like Mav, you and I talked about it Thursday night. Again, like how can we all sit back and see what's coming? Like we can see the train wreck that's coming if they don't pull this off, but they simply cannot, right? They just no, everything's great. Bug levels are acceptable. We can work through them. Look, we all could see it. Then you have a game like Cyberpunk that even if you don't want to listen to all of us just normal gamers out here that know better, you see another company in CD Projekt Red do what they did with Cyberpunk just last year, and you guys still go and do this. Like it's like nothing's going to teach you. Nothing's going to teach you at all. You guys are blind.
No.
No
Dying
self-awareness.
Light 2 right
It,
now.
it's insane. It's like they have not learned from Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, and then this. It's like
Or just say any of the Maddens. Like, come on. Like
It's like
any of the
successful.
Maddens. It's
They're
so many
like-
different games.
oh
Mass Effect, Andromeda when it first launched. I don't know
Oh
what
my
it's
God.
like now.
The
You
Witcher
could keep
3.
going with EA.
Witcher 3 is CD Projekt
Witcher
Red.
3, yeah, but Witcher 3 was in a terrible state at launch, really, really bad. And now it's, my game
Yeah.
of the generation.
Yeah, people
probably.
used to be way more forgiving
But-
of it than they are today.
Yeah, but
you know?
we want
Yeah.
people to understand that these games need to be come out. I'd rather wait and have a good game than have a game that's released half finished.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
and
think they're
imagine-
going in a different direction with it though. It's like, no, we release everything as it is and then we sort it out afterwards. Well, that's not good enough. I paid £100 for Dying Light 2, and basically it's virtually unplayable if you like look at all of the reviews and things.
What?
And it's like, well, like Dealer lost 30 hours of
Well,
gameplay.
he got
in a
that
constant
one,
death
but
loop.
yeah, he got that one bug that's
Mm.
it's not very common, but he got that bug. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I always
And
in
there-
Dying Light
yeah,
2,
but
I heard
there's
about
loads
that.
of
I always
other
save and
bugs.
quit before I close the game.
Yeah,
Save
I
and
have
quit
me
before you
too.
close the game.
Problems.
Yeah.
Dying Light 2
But
for me
like-
has been amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know there has been a few people have
there
had
has
some
been.
There's
issues.
been quite a lot of bugs that they've had to bring out a day one patch to cover.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, why didn't you put that in before you released it?
Well, day one patches at release from like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like because a game goes gold and then they still working on
Yeah.
stuff.
The
So like
code has to be
the
finalized. and-
reviewers didn't get the day one patch though. Like the day one patch was out at the time of release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, like I experienced like some audio bugs occasionally. That's it. That's all I've had one other bug once where an enemy disappeared. But other than
Yep.
that, like that's it. As far as
Floating
I've got,
heads are funny.
I got stuck in like on a rock or something. I couldn't move for a minute. It took me a minute
Yeah.
to jump out of it.
Yeah.
but other people's experiences may be worse, right? Like
Yeah.
dealers,
Yeah, exactly. It's everybody's is different.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
what I'm saying is the way they release buggy games these days, it's like every single game, even Halo. You know, it's like
Yeah.
why can't they just make the game, and release it.
Games are
you
too
know.
big now. They're too ambitious.
I mean,
Yep.
I lost my save in SpongeBob Bikini Bottom remastered last year. I did. Lost
Yeah,
4 hours.
The games are just so big and they're so complex now with everything that I don't know if there's enough time. Like a game eventually has to release. That's what happened with Dying Light 2. Techland could not afford not to release it anymore. Like
Yeah,
Techland.
and that's another thing.
But
Money.
but EA, I can't excuse EA and Battlefield when your devs are coming to you. EA does not have to release Battlefield. Sure, their investors would like it. It looks better at the end of the year numbers, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, EA is big enough to go, no, we're going to go ahead and delay this and give our devs more time. But companies like Techland, who put all of their earnings and are taking loans basically to make this game, eventually they just have to put out the game. So like that was it spent development hell. It was in development hell for a couple of years. It cost them a lot. But again, going back to Battlefield, EA has no excuse. They have more than enough money to say, no, we can go ahead and delay this, just like Xbox did with Halo.
And if they don't want to take 5 years to make a game, 6 years to make a
Right.
game, then they need to change their model or change their ambition. Because
Or that damn engine.
Yeah. Or decide
Or
that Frostbite, it just ain't it.
Yeah.
It all comes
It's
down
beautiful
to
at times.
decision
It's
making
gorgeous.
and management, right? Like, what approach are we going to take? Okay, well, here's what we want to do. Can we do this in 3 years, 4 years? Is it possible? We think so. We're going to give it a shot. And then at the end of it, you're like, no, we need more time. And then they're like, oh, we got to release the game anyway, right? So it's like, you got to, with this day and age, every one of these big games has bugs because they're just so big and ambitious that at some point they got to get them out. So
Yeah, but if
I
you
don't
look
know.
at Dying Light 2, for instance, it's already a last generation game. It's not this generation for sure.
well, it's on both.
So, well, it's on both, but it's still a last generation game. It's not this generation. When
Yeah,
you
but it's
start
still
getting-
like crazy ambitious though. Like with those buildings, like super high, you're on sky,
I mean-
you're going in skyscrapers, interiors, and stuff like
I
that.
see what she's saying though. Like basically,
yeah, but I get it.
with the game for Dying Light, like I go back and forth with this because it's such an interesting topic to me. Where with Dying Light, like it's not 4K, right? It's 1080p, 60 frames per second, and there's always the argument where if the game is released like Horizon, Forbidden West, for example, that game
It-
is
it
on
has
PS4.
bugs, too.
It's on
It has a
PS5.
lot of bugs.
Would you even play Dying
I've
Light if
seen-
it was 4K 30?
No.
No.
Okay,
Uh,
so
I'm not
I
going
don't
back to
understand that
30.
argument of the 10K or 1080 60 thing. Like, no one's going to play if it's 4K 30. Like,
No,
you're going to take
14
screenshots.
But everybody believes it could have
No,
been
but it-
1440p up res.
1440 up
Yes.
res
It could
4K.
definitely be at
Yep.
least 4K 60. And the thing is with like next generation games of like when you're building a game and you're deciding the optimization specs for it, like in Dying Light's case, that game has been in development for a long time, and I'm sure it was decided very early on that for Xbox One and PS4, like it's going to be 1080p, you know, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And when the newer consoles came out, they're like, oh, well, our engine is very much optimized for that. Maybe somewhere down the line we can figure out a way to make it 4K, 4K 60 if possible. But for the most part, they built their game. Basically, what Lupa's saying, they built their game for that. So yes, it is a cross-generation game. However, it's tricky because you have engines like Unreal where it's you think about it like a PC. When you are changing your settings and you are like, oh, I have a more powerful rig, that means I can push games further up the settings. And the newer consoles are x64, so it is a lot more adaptable to different settings for next generation consoles. So the whole argument where before in previous cases where Xbox One and PS4 where you're like, oh, it's being held back, was a lot more valid than what it is now. Or I would even see 360 even further back.
Those Jaguar's chips suck.
Jaguar chips were terrible for generation and basically developing games. what it is now, it's a lot more adaptable, and it's as close as PC as you're going to get. This generation for sure is very close to PCs. So when you hear people say like, oh, like consoles are holding games back, it's not really. It's more so development time. How much development time do these developers have to make the different versions of
Exactly.
these? It's not holding anything back really. It's about like, oh, how much
Development time.
in Horizon, like how much cores do I have, how much power do I have in the PS4. Okay, let me scale this back, let me do this. It's more so about that than, oh, PS4 is holding back the PS5.
I mean,
Or-
Dynamite 2 is gonna be on the Switch, so
I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
yeah.
Horizon's even
But see-
worse because Horizon, they even had an extra year.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
see, with these games now are so ambitious, like, you know what 3-Bit's saying, but these 3-year development times are almost non-realistic anymore. They need like 4 or 5 years if you want ultra deep realistic games. You know, look at Starfield. Look at what how long has I think Halo has been, what, technically 3-4 years now, the second with the
Yeah, I
year
think it's
delay.
4. Yeah.
So these 3-year development times for these devs with the like EA, Ubisoft, and other developers, they're like they can't reach that goal as they would think they would like to.
And it's weird because, like, yes, technology is getting better, right? You're like, oh, doesn't technology mean shorter development times? It's weird because, like, yes, it does make it, like, technology getting better does make it easier for developers to like make trees faster, or
yeah, you can render
X, Y,
stuff
and Z.
quicker instead of waiting a whole
Render
day.
stuff quick. Yeah, like, yes, that is true, but at the same time, because they are able to do that stuff, they're adding a lot more to their games.
More textures, more details.
More textures, more details, which means they have to optimize all of the things they just added, like millions of different assets. So they have to basically optimize that, and that's where the bugs are usually coming in, because they can add a lot more with the new technology they have, but that doesn't mean necessarily that all that when you put it together, that everything will be seamless.
What I want to know though too is, like,
Exactly.
it seems like people are just thinking that bugs in these big ambitious games is like a new trend. This is the way it's always been since the modern era of gaming. Like, we've always, like, you can name every big ambitious RPG, shooter, everything that I've played has always had a lot of bugs at launch.
Look at Red
Right.
Dead 2. Like, Red Dead 2 was almost perfect, but that was in development for like 10 years.
There's
like,
there are some like rare exceptions, and it's usually like a Rockstar or a Respawn, right? So Bungie also usually, but for the most part, like every big time game, Bethesda games notorious for bugs at launch, right? Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Assassin's Creed games, all have had a ton of bugs at launches in the past. You
I
have,
think the frustration with Fallout though is some of the same bugs from Fallout 3 have carried over Fallout 4, have carried over Fallout 76. Like, how can you not, like, they patch the bugs later in that game, but then they come back in the new games,
Right.
like, just
That's because every game, like with like Bethesda, they use the same engine, they use the same assets,
Assets.
Creation
same
engine,
coding.
yeah.
it's the creation.
And
It's
they just
like
know
pretty
that the
much
modding community is going to fix them all. So that they just rely on the modding community to do it.
Okay, but like every Battlefield game I've ever
Yeah.
played has had a lot of bugs at launch, and usually the servers don't even work.
But I remember games coming out like Pong. Like I was around before Pong, and I remember games coming out that weren't buggy.
Yeah, but those games are a lot
Whoa.
different.
they
than-
had 3
games.
pixels.
Yeah, like,
Sure.
here's the thing. Like, if we want to expect no bugs ever in games at launch, then we're going to be playing only Nintendo type games. Pretty much it.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I mean,
also
I was playing
ET
RPGs
in the
way
90s or
back.
80s or whatever was so buggy it killed the video game market. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like
ET, that was like disgraceful. But like it's like I wasn't bothered with that. I'm talking about, good games came out that weren't buggy. And if they were, you was like,
Yeah,
well,
but
go play
those,
it.
but you also, the games that came out back then, though, Lupa, there wasn't as much assets in the game as they are now.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm
So
saying is, who's the ones that suffer? We do. We're trying to play a game that's like, so
Yeah.
like I lose half my body into a roof in Assassin's Creed. And I'm like,
But
what the
if-
hell?
if-
And so
But
many
you
times
wouldn't
I've
even
got
be playing a
stuck in
game
games where I
like
can't get out. I have to die.
It's the ambition that creates creating that huge, massive type of world and game that even creates the potential for that bug in the first place, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I get all that. I'm completely fay with all that. I'm just saying that it's got more of a trend rather than them fixing it. They're doing it more and more and more.
yeah, I think that that's a fair assessment, and I think it's because like it just takes too damn long to make these games now.
Yeah.
Like
if you want a no bug
unfortunately.
game, if you want no bugs in the game, you're looking at probably a longer development time. So, it'd be 6-8 years possibly try to get a bug-free game with this level that
that
are
they're going
getting.
for, yeah.
But I'd rather
So-
wait. I'd rather wait.
Yeah,
for a
Yeah,
game.
but can they afford? Can the
That's
publishers
like Call of
afford
Duty.
Developers-
that?
Well,
Call
the
of Duty
bigger
copies
publishers
and pastes
certainly
some of the
can,
same
like Pong
code
said,
to
EA
just
and
get their
stuff.
next game out.
Yeah, the bigger publishers
they
for sure
can.
can.
Yeah,
But like,
and some of the smaller publishers, I do understand, but mostly it's their investors and
Yeah.
what have you that are pushing them to release games like Cyberpunk. That team was completely crushed because they didn't want to release the game. They wanted the money though, so the investors say what happens, and that's a sad thing. Also, the business around gaming.
yeah,
is
the
sad
thing is,
place.
it is sad, but at the same point, like the games are made to make money, and without the business side of it, then we wouldn't get to play games at all, right?
Yeah.
So the business side of it is it sucks, and it's greedy. There's a lot of greed. There's a lot of shit stuff that goes on. There's microtransactions out the ass. There's all of this stuff, but at the same time, it has to be worth it for them in order to create the stuff that they're creating for us to enjoy, right? Now,
You have to at some point also put the game out to get money. Like you can't
Yes.
just sit on the game forever.
At
I
some
get
point,
that,
you
but, like,
have
it's-
to, like,
It's yeah, I get they've got to put it out eventually, but it's like, well, the gamers will take it, so we'll just do it
well,
anyway.
I think that's
Well-
why they're doing free to play model more too, right?
Yes.
Like, because you're releasing content in a smaller package up front, you can focus more on polishing something that you know is going to do well, like Apex Legends, right? You had one map, one mode, you drop it, it's a pretty much flawless experience. There's little things here and there.
But they
But-
said when they released it, it was not going to be up to standard, Mav. They did say that when they released it.
Who,
I remember
Battlefield?
seeing that. No, Apex Legends. They said it's going to be a small map. We're going to be working
Yeah.
on it on a
That's what
regular
he's-
basis.
But that's
Yeah, that's
exactly-
what he's saying.
Yeah, you
Right,
also
you
take less
knew.
of a hit on
So
that.
you
But-
knew. I mean,
but it's
to me,
polished.
gamers are more entitled than ever lately, and
But-
it's like we should have this and we should have that.
Well, that's
But
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying,
if we're-
Lupa, though. Like,
Yeah.
it was because it was smaller, they're able to put out a quality product, right?
Mhm.
That everybody
Yeah,
could
for
have
sure.
fun with and enjoy, and then they build up over time. Same thing
Yeah.
with Halo Infinite. It has less right now, but what we got at launch was more of a polished product, right? If Battlefield had taken that approach, and instead of you having to fulfill
You
the
could
needs
argue
of
they did.
creating a $70 worth of multiplayer content, right? That's a perceived value of $70 worth of next gen multiplayer content. Now you can focus on, okay, let's say we only had a couple of modes and a couple of maps, but if they're going to be flawless, no bugs, it's going to be perfect, and then you can build over time. And guess what? People don't even have to pay to play it. People will and then be investing in microtransactions and stuff. So a lot of these developers are investing in doing free to play model because I think it's one of the only ways to really make these ambitious games and projects work that you plan on surviving for 10 years, right? Because Battlefield the fan base got killed because they decided to launch it, right? They decided to launch it in a buggy state. People are not forgiving of that like they used to be, because Battlefield 5 had it, Battlefield 4 had it, Battlefield 3 had it, almost every Battlefield had a lot of the same bugs, a lot of the issues. This is missing features, but it also has way more multiplayer content than any other Battlefield ever at launch. Way more, right? Usually you get 4 or 5 maps and you get like 2 modes. But
this only has like 2 modes too, to be honest.
No, yeah, also got Battlefield, you got Portal in there, and you also have
but it's only Rush in like Conquest. It's not like you don't have team deathmatch, and you can make those, but there's not like baked in.
There's even free for all now and all this stuff. Like they have all of these now to select. Plus you have you have like all these old maps from Battlefield 2, Battlefield 4, Battlefield whatever, 1942.
Bad Company 2.
You have all of these maps, you have all these different things that are in this game, is way more than any other Battlefield we've ever had at launch. But yeah, there's more bugs, right? Because they were really ambitious. They had to fulfill that $70 perceived value, right? So it's getting harder for these devs to make these big, ambitious games that they want to make and be able to please gamers and be able to make a return on investment on time. And it's just getting more and more and more difficult. And the stuff that we used to be more forgiving of, because the same stuff happened in the 360 era, PS3 era. The same stuff happened in the Xbox One era and PS4 era. But it's like now it's like, hey, this is crazy. What we got bugs? This has never happened
also,
before.
social media has grown up, so more people see it now. More people complain about it.
It's killing games. It is killing games.
Me and Mav had a long conversation about this exact topic in our thing. Where and I agree with a lot what Mav is saying. I guess I look at it from a point of view where I'm the gamer, right? And I just want the quality product, regardless of how it's coming out. So me personally, I don't care about the free-to-play model if it means I'm getting less. That's just me personally. Like if I'm getting a game where previously I got all these features, I got all these things, if I have to pay $60 and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like I'm thinking about the older model in terms of like Halo 3. When Halo 3 first launched, it came with what? It came with Theater, it came with Forge, it came with all these different modes,
campaign, multiplayer,
right?
Co-op.
It's like, or you get that stuff, you get all like a whole package, or free to play, but you get less, right? You get
but you don't get less. You get less at launch.
Yeah, in 5 years,
but
then you have the
same
amount of content.
And it's free
of later on.
But also the player base stays longer because you get more engagement because you're coming out with more stuff over time.
Oh.
Yes.
Ow.
It sounds screwed up there, man.
At me. You're screaming at me.
Yeah,
Tess,
the mic
is it still doing
Still
that?
yelling.
Still doing it.
Yeah. Don't shout at me, Mum. You make me cry.
I thought Mav like put a new voice filter and was like, I will fucking kill you. Listen to me.
Yeah, but I mean, but look at Fortnite now. Like when
Don't come
Fortnite
for me,
launched,
man.
it was a zombie game, and now it's like a whole bunch of shit. You're still doing it, Math. So like, Fortnite now has more content than it would at launch. Like
yes, and I agree with with certain models like Fortnite. Like over time, they like look at what Fortnite is now. It has so much content. It's actually overwhelming how much content Fortnite has.
Yeah.
And I think I just look at it like where devs take advantage of this model, of the free-to-play model, or company. I wouldn't say the devs. I would say the companies that overthrow the devs, where they're like, okay, well, we don't have to. We have the promise of these things eventually releasing, but we don't have to necessarily do it. Even if they have the money, the resources to do it at the time of release, they're like, well, we could push this, and what we could do instead. Because I've been in meetings where they have this exact conversation where they're like, okay, we could opt for development time of the actual game, more modes, more features, or we could spend this resource, this time to actually put more microtransaction or put more towards skins and stuff, because that would help out. They'll basically help us get more money, right? So the free-to-play model is good because you can get more players in initially. you can get a lot of players in, it's free. Then you make more money on the back end of people buying skins, et cetera, et cetera. But where it can be bad, I think, is having the promise of things eventually coming down the line, and that gives the company more reason to put in things like, oh, let's, instead of putting all this time into like, let's make the mode come out recently, like soon, let's put the
think of it like this, like Halo
skins.
Infinite. If you wanted Halo Infinite to be like the launch of Halo 3 where it had everything in it, you're looking at another 2 or 3 years dev time. Whereas like that's a big risk. That's a lot more money and time investment you're gonna have to put into that game. It's gonna be a lot of money. Whereas if they put it out now, it's less money.
I know, but you're thinking about it from the develop. I say I don't care about the development stuff. I'm thinking about it as a player. As a player, I would love to have all that stuff, like when the game comes out, and then have everything like polished and all that stuff.
You ain't getting
that's
games.
Not the model. I'm not necessarily thinking about it like
that's what I'm saying.
From the company. Like I don't care about the company. I'm thinking of it more as like the player, like what I would like to have when a game like comes out. When a game comes out, I would love to have theater mode. I would love to have big team battles, Slayer, all that stuff, and then all that stuff on top of it would be nice.
We will have less games to play because there'll be more development time. But again, it all comes down to money. If they don't have the money to make this game in 6 to 8 years, we're you know what I mean. That's where the issue lies in too. When you make these large, ambitious games,
and I know that. I'm being myself.
Your point of view is as a gamer, but it's like it's hard. It's that devil's advocate. Do you put it out? But with at least with Battlefield 2047 or 2042, like they had so many, like a lot of the bugs and issues that they had have been from previous games. It's like, you have this engine, why are you not remedying whatever it is that is causing this same problem? Like if your team's like, can we delay this at least 6 months, 8 months? And they're like, we'll give you 3 weeks.
So I'm gonna read the super chat from Lord Ruffness. He's has $5, very generous $5. Thank you, dude. He says, yeah, I kind of with Lupa, I'm guessing he said I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Lupa right now. The amount of money being spent, there needs to be more games coming out unbroken. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. But I completely agree with everyone else in terms of like why they don't do it. But yeah. Bold Alpha Wolfpack says, I'm hyped for $10. Awesome. I got to say the amount. $10, you're awesome. He says, I'm hyped for an ambitious game as much as the next customer. But when devs set the bar in orbit, that's their own doing. No one's hounding them for a release, but everything has a time frame.
Yeah, so. And I agree to a certain extent that some of the developers out here do set themselves up for massive problems and potential failure because of the overhyping of their game, right? They want to drum up that interest early on. And that also is not just for the gamers, that's also for their investors. That's also for the market itself, for all the locations that are going to be selling their game, whether it's brick and mortar, whether it's digital. They are doing the hype train for a reason. And yeah, sometimes that bar is so ambitious that no matter what, at the end of the day, they're never going to fulfill everything. That happened with CD Projekt Red in a lot of different ways. Even at this point, there's a lot of stuff missing from that game that was originally said that was going to be in that game, right? So that is something that they did themselves. They outthought themselves as far as what they were going to be able to accomplish, especially when they decided to continue pursuing that game on last gen, right? That was a major problem. They should have cut off that last gen.
Yeah.
But to Bold Alpha's point, no one's hounding them for a release. That's where I gotta disagree there, because everybody's hounding them for a release. And I think this is a no-win situation, because you remember when CD Projekt Red started doing the yellow delays the big yellow postings that they put
Yeah.
on Twitter with the delays. People were crying, okay, over that. They were upset. People were like, no more. I don't want to see this yellow anymore. Do you remember all of that? So there is like, there's people like 3-Bit for sure. And even myself, if a developer came out, I have never been against delays whatsoever. If a developer comes out and says, look, this game is not ready. We want to make it the best game possible. It happened with Stalker 2 this year. Stalker 2 was my most anticipated game before Starfield. They came out and said, look, we need to make this the best experience. We have to delay it 9 more months or whatever it wound up being. I'm cool with that. And I think 3-Bit's cool with that. And there's a lot of people that are cool with that, but there's a lot of people who aren't. And there's a lot of gamers who just want what they want and they want it now. And then you throw on the back end, the investors and the people up above the developers who may not even be gamers themselves, are just strictly business people. And you wind up with a rock and a hard place for a lot of these developers. And a lot of times their hands are tied and they are forced to put out a game. We just saw it with Battlefield. We saw it with we saw it with Cyberpunk. It's just finally forced to come out. So I think that there are people clamoring. If this was just the old days, right, where it was still a business, there was still money involved, but it wasn't this, okay? It wasn't the #1 entertainment industry in the world. That's a big title to have for your industry. That means that you are grabbing people from everywhere are enjoying what you guys are putting out in your industry. That's changed the whole dynamic. Back in the day when it was just Sega and Nintendo, it was still business for those two companies, but it was not this type of business. It was not this cutthroat type of business. It was rivalry. There was a lot of that, but there was two major companies trying to outdo themselves in terms of quality, in terms of types of games, right? And that's basically what it came down to. Now you're talking about $70 billion acquisition deals for gaming companies, right? You're talking about big money. You're talking about small-time devs going and opening up their studios with the dream of maybe someday an Xbox coming and knock on their door and offering them the golden parachute, right? That's what this business has turned into. What that means for us as gamers, we get more content. We get bigger games. We get more ambition. We get tech pushing forward. We get all this great stuff. But we also get all the problems that come along with that, right? And we get all the problems that, and one of the things is that now that we've gone digital and the digital age is here and patches are now a thing, one of the first things these game companies cut out of the budget, because these budgets are now gigantic, almost movie-like budgets for some things, like take The Last of Us 2, probably upwards of over $100 million, probably $150 million. 2,100 and some devs worked on that from 14 different studios, right? That's a huge, huge project. But one of the things they did to trim the budget was game testing. Game testers are no longer what it used to be. That used to be a major department in all these studios, and they would go through hundreds and thousands of hours of testing with a big group of game testers trying to find all the bugs. But now with patching, and with the ability to fix things afterwards, they slice the game testing down to minimum, because they know no matter what, as long as the game comes, just like we heard from EA, as long as the game has an acceptable amount of bugs, they're okay with releasing it, because they'll just patch them all out and use us as the game testers, right? That's what they're doing now. We are the game testers in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying it's right, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's what's happened with this big business. We get a lot of advantages as gamers. We get a lot of great stuff to enjoy because how big this whole industry has become, but we also get a lot of the problems that come with that. And I do agree there has to be some integrity taken by some of these giant publishers, especially the smaller devs who don't have the money and that are one game away from closing their doors up. I don't blame them as much as if they finally get to a point and they got to push their game out because they have to. They don't have the funds to do it anymore. But these big time publishers, Take-Two's, EA's, Microsoft, Sony's, yeah, they got to have more integrity and make sure that they're putting out the best possible games when they do put one of their first party titles out, because they do have the resources to do it, and they don't have to worry about closing their doors. Yeah, they have to answer their investors, but really at the end of the day, you think Microsoft investors are going to be upset
Also
because
about
they
the
delayed
return
Halo.
investment too. Like
Correct. The return investment's there for these big companies, right? If you put out a better game. So I think there has to be some integrity taken back there. I think, yes, some of the devs do need to start realizing that the hype, that I understand why you generate it and you want your game out there getting articles written because you've promised all these freaking world changing type things for your game. The first time you're ever going to see this mechanic, oh my God, it's going to blow your mind. I understand why you do that, but you also got to understand that what that sets you up for is the downfall when your game comes out and it doesn't live up to that hype. And we've seen that time and time again. So devs definitely need to look internally and start maybe toning it down a little bit and bringing more realistic goals to the table. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
But there's a classic example, isn't there? Who did what I did? I'm not going to buy Cyberpunk because of the bugs, because of how bad it was. Now
I still
I'm going to wait for the patch,
Yeah.
but now the patch is coming out. I'm like, do I really
know.
want to play
It-
Cyberpunk?
Yes.
So they've lost out. How many people have they lost out the
Yep.
money on? That's what
Yep.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yep.
but see, a lot of the issues were also with the Series X, and I don't know about PS5, but at least with the Series X, it wasn't as bad. PC Series X, you know, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
But
It
it
was
wasn't
because
as it wasn't like
I
last
think-
gen. But,
No,
you know,
I think
Game of
it
the year
was the
whenever it came
last
out,
gen Xbox
2020,
One,
whatever.
etc.
mhm.
Them deciding to make it for that as well is what destroyed it
Yeah.
really. I
Yeah,
really think
but-
it should have been for Series X, PS5. That's it. And PC.
And Bold Alpha, you know, again, you're not willing to pay $60 retail for a what'd you say, for problems. That's why I haven't touched CP 2077. Hey, that is a personal decision you have to make, and all of us as gamers do, right? Bugs to me don't bother me unless they're game breaking bugs or unless they screw with my saves and they make me lose time. That's what happened on Watch Dogs Legion, right?
Time's
I bought
expensive.
Yep, time is expensive. So if you as long as it's not game breaking and it doesn't take away the time that I've invested in that game, I'm cool with bugs. Maybe that's just me. I have a higher tolerance for them. Again,
me too.
Cyberpunk 2077, I was day one. Okay, I was day one on my Series X console, and I was cool with the bugs. Most of them made me laugh. Like I thought it was funny, just like a lot of Bethesda bugs do, right? Bugthesda is a thing because of how buggy Skyrim is. Skyrim was broken on PS3, right? For a long time. It couldn't even be played without a game-breaking bug. So
And 76 was really
yeah,
bad.
and 76 too. But so again, that's going to be a personal thing. And I understand what you're saying. And yes, always speak with your wallet. I would never tell anybody, well, just go buy the game. I did tell people, hey, if you're okay with some bugs, Cyberpunk isn't that bad. I haven't come across any game breaking bugs. So go try it out if you're okay with bugs. For me, it's okay. It's not excusing the devs, but it's just being realistic about the situation we're in, where we're at in game development. There's going to have to be a major shift. And you're never going to get enough gamers to all get on board with not buying something like mass quantities. I'm talking about like all the games, like all the gamers just say, look, the next game that comes out that's bugged, we're not buying it. Nobody buy it. It's never going to happen like that, right? This
Have you seen
community is
Call
all
of Duty?
different. Right.
I-
Right. Call of Duty came out with zero hype and they get sold, right? So it's just a realistic point of view that I come from. For me, is that yes, like a game like Watch Dogs Legion, I regret that purchase because it cost me time and I went back to it and I was enjoying it, but I went back to it after they fixed it and I could not find that enjoyment again. So for me, that game was ruined. Right. And so that's a wasted buy for me. And I'm a budget gamer. I can't just go, oh, well, I threw away money. I don't like doing that when I'm in my position. So
All right. So
that's bad. Yeah. Go ahead.
so we gotta wrap the show. Oh, you're
No.
good.
No,
You're
you're back.
You're fine. Okay. I was gonna say what Mav's comments were in the chat and everything, but I guess you could close out the show now. I was
Okay,
gonna close
cool. Yeah, I had to unplug. I got to figure out. I got to replace this cord or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, great thoughts. I agree with everybody. Battlefield should have been delayed. I want to make that clear. It should have been delayed. I'm not saying it shouldn't have. I'm just saying that people are also like making a lot bigger deal than they used to about a lot of these things as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, very entitled gamers these days.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's just people.
Psycho said, you know, you wouldn't have so many games coming out. Well, I'm fine with that There's too many bloody games.
Yeah. Well, I know 3-Bit needs to get out of here too, but 3-Bit's going to read these real quick. So I was also
3-Bit owes us like 5 shows.
does.
He's not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
And he's
Uh,
trying to end the show
12.
soon. He's trying to end the show early. Like,
when y'all were
No.
talking about like the people feeling pressured and stuff, you know, like the devs feeling pressured to release the game and stuff like that, and then from the audience, it also comes from the investment side and the return on investment side.
Yep.
That pressure
So I
is
said.
real. There is a
Yep.
financial pressure if a game's been in development for like 5 or 6 years, and then you're talking about another delay of like 6 months to a year. You're talking about more development costs. You're talking about more marketing costs as well. You're talking about other costs of like that goes in all the salaries for
yeah.
everybody.
Can they
that's working
sell
on those
that
games.
amount of games to recoup that money? You
More
know, it's like,
contract work, all of this stuff, like it adds up. So it's not just like, hey, like invisible money that just comes out, right? So there's a cost to delaying a game, and it becomes at some point, if you go into it with the ambition of making something, like at what point is it not worth it anymore for the risk, right? Because it's always risk versus reward when you're deciding to kickstart a project. And if you know it's going to take 7-8 years and you're going to make $70 on it, and it's like, is it going to take off? Is it not? So that's why you're seeing a lot of the free to play model happen, because, you know, you're launching with a smaller product and then growing it over time, right? And I think making the decision like EA did, releasing it buggy, was a horrible, wrong decision, because in this day and age, people aren't going to tolerate it anymore. And that's one of the things that they also said as well, because it's just going to kill your franchise. Anyway, also, I wanted to shout out to Halo Infinite, because Microsoft made the decision to delay Halo Infinite for a year, and they're the ones that could afford to do so, but not everybody can do that, right? So anyway, all right, let's get everybody out of here. Thank you all, chat, for being here. This was absolute awesome time. Appreciate you. And I think we got all the super chats, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
3-Bit got him.
All right, so I'll let the guest go first. Hey, 3-Bit, thank you for joining us this week. I appreciate you being here. But like, where can everybody? No, for real. I'm glad you're back here with the panel. Hope to see you back next week, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after. I'm hoping to get a commitment signed in blood here soon.
It ain't ever gonna happen. Come on, man.
But yeah, dude,
Sign
where can
exclusivity
everybody
deal.
find your you and your VHD pillow? VGHD.
Everyone can find me in my VGHD pillow exclusively on the Fun Speculation channel here and Fun Pop. And then me and my sisters have a couple shows planned probably for next week. Not sure. Just
Friday
with
night,
work and everything.
9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. You and your sisters
Yes,
are going to be
this-
rocking out.
No. Competing with Xbox Ultimate. No, everyone can follow me on Twitter. It's at i3bit. I'm on these two shows, Fun Pop and this one from now, just because of work. Just look out on my Twitter. I'll be releasing some cool stuff over the next week, and just stuff I've been working on at my new job and stuff like that. So keep an eye out. I love you all. It's been fun being on the show again, and everybody in the chat has been absolutely amazing. I think we had like 60 plus people at one point, just and a troll, of course. But
Hitting on my
Couple
wife.
trolls.
Hitting on my wife.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Mhm.
Come on.
yeah.
I'll take care of her.
I
Mhm.
appreciate being on here. It's been a fun show. I gotta go, but I will see you guys on.
Of course you do. Bye, 3-Bit.
Bye, 3-Bit.
Alright.
Tell
Later,
you,
3-Bit.
tell
Later. We'll
your
see.
girlfriend hi.
Go play
We'll
some
see you at
Mario
E3
Kart.
time. Okay.
Go play some 3-player
Alright,
Mario
E3.
Kart. Okay. Have some fun.
I will. I love y'all.
Bye,
I'll
guys.
Tell
see
your
you.
girlfriend we said
Love
hi.
you, brother. Later.
All right, bye.
Or bye, guy. That's it, guys.
So we're doing another
Guys.
like hour now that he's gone, right?
Yeah. No, Kate will kill me if we do that, because she had to go and get some mommy duties. Lupa, extraordinary assassin Lupa. Thank you for being here. As always, we love you. Where can everybody find your hot takes?
You can find me at AssassinLupa on Xbox Live and Twitter, and here every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK time. It's been fun. Chat, you've been awesome. Love to check games. So I'll catch you all gaming.
Heck yeah. Mellow fellow from Florida. And what's up, man? Where can everybody find you, dude?
Dude, chat, you're phenomenal, except for the couple trolls that we got tonight. Fuck you guys. But anyways, you can find me anywhere on the Psychonauts 8 name. Find me somewhere.
On Twitter?
And, Twitter, yeah, that's it. So,
yeah, you forgot what Twitter is?
Find me.
Okay.
Social media, Psychonauts 8. Find me everywhere. You can follow me on Wednesdays at 7:00 p.m.
Why do you have an East Coast accent all of a sudden?
I don't know.
From the East Coast.
I don't know. Matt does the
Now
shit.
you're in
I'm
Florida.
like,
All of a sudden, you're picking up
What?
East Coast shit. What's going on here?
Hey, what's the matter?
Hey, my name's Psychonauts. You can catch me here anywhere at Psychonauts 8's my name.
Psycho was hanging out smoking with Gandalf before the show. God
Yes,
damn it.
Toby. Me and Toby, we're kicking it, yo. No, you can find me here Fridays as well. It was awesome. Love you, chat. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Jasper the realist, the
Debbie
guy
Downer.
that lore master, Debbie Downer, all of the above. Where can everybody find you and your awesome streams?
Bros, you can check me out at Jasper_gaming_ on Twitter, Jasper Gaming on YouTube, Fun Pop Wednesdays, Xbox Ultimate Fridays, link in description for all of the panel members. So if you want to check someone out, just go down there. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. And yeah.
Bro.
And the,
Are you gonna do Caitlin's outro, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
man?
Oh yes. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem.
You can see my cookie crumble.
See my cookies, my crumbles, and we're gonna talk. Lots of fun, and I'm now sponsored, so it's great.
Caitlin,
Hey guys, you can catch me on Twitter at Caitlin
Oh my
Out of order.
You can catch me
I hope she never listens to
on
this.
TikTok at Caitlin_Benson.
She's gonna fucking kill you.
And I have lots of videos, including one that went viral, and it's amazing. So check that out,
Holy
guys.
chicken.
Chicken thighs.
And also my YouTube video. And also I'll be playing House Flipper and Halo.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you are so divorced. You are so divorced. It's not even funny.
You're on the couch.
She's in the chat.
Sunshine.
Mav's on the couch tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in there.
Couch and
She was
Maverick
listening.
And the
Mav on the
encyclopedia.
couch. Say hello.
What the fuck? I'm waiting for her to barge in your room right now. Oh my god.
It's gonna
The
be a
fork
frog
boy
boy
slap.
time moment. Yeah.
And I love my husband very much.
I wish.
And hey, I love you too, babe. Love you too, sweetheart. Encyclopedia of Gaming, dating back to the very first game ever created. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Absolutely great show tonight. Again, sorry for being late. This is now a Friday thing with my work. But anyways, love you all. It was an awesome show. It was awesome to have 3-Bit finally back on. And of course, the rest of you, fam. Just miss you guys each and every week. I get to see Mav a lot, but not the rest of you. So I appreciate you all. Chat, you guys are absolutely amazing. Generosity is off the charts. Appreciate all love and support. Nothing but respect for each one of you. You know that the show is nothing without you showing up each and every week. So thank you for being here and just wanting to listen to this nonsense that we throw out on the show. Otherwise, you can find me Pong Soul, Xbox, Twitter. Tomorrow morning, living split screen. Set those alarms now so you don't forget. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. UK time. Be there with me and my brother from another, Steel Rain, live, raw and uncut tomorrow morning. We're going to get you right away in the morning. So as I put out my tweet today, 69.83% better Saturdays after you get done listening to me and Steel. So please drop on by. 3+ hours, buckle up, get ready. We got a lot to cover, a lot of just little news all over the place this week. So it's going to be fun tomorrow morning. Living split screen is all one word. Tomorrow night, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. Check out the Shop with myself, Fuzzy, PTK. I don't know if we have guests on this week or not. I think PTK is trying to firm somebody up, but we'll see. Pause.
Whoa.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. But anyways, Shop Podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. Awesome way to end your Saturday night. Please drop on in and check us out there. Back at it Tuesday, Xbox Factor Podcast, Mr. Boomstick, Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. You know the drill. Mav, Archimedes, Mr. Joanna Dark, myself. It's going to be a blast. We got VJ. VJ's there now, guys and gals. VJ, the one and only. Be there. Xbox Factor Podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, Tuesdays, Thursday night, PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM. We had a great time on Thursday night. Probably have another great time this Thursday as well. It's going to be a blast. Drop on in there, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time, 2-man show, 1, 2, maybe 3 topics, and a guest every now and then. PM in the PM is your new Thursday night favorite show. So drop on in there. Love you all. It's a golden age of gaming. Play what you love what you play. I'll talk to you real soon. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Heck yeah, man.
You guys
Are you
just need
broke?
to have. No, you guys need to just have Phil Spencer on.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, we should.
On PM in the PM?
Yeah, we should have Phil and Jim
Does he
on
have
together.
3
We
hours
should
to
get both
spare?
of them.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Jim-
if he has 3
Jim
hours.
Ryan and Phil Spencer.
We'll cut it short for him. We'll just do one segment with him and Jim. That'd be kind of fun. The future of gaming.
Yeah.
Special episode.
Can we have Jeff Bezos too?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Bezos loves to talk games. You know,
He's
Yeah.
on his yacht building
Yeah.
rocket ships.
Let's go.
Now, where can
Yeah.
everybody find
Oh.
you?
Yeah, me. Hey, right here on Fun
Oh.
Speculation on YouTube. Also on Twitter at Fun Speculation, where you can catch all the updates for our channel and when we're going live with either game streams or podcasts, because we got lots of them. You know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we got you covered. Wednesday's Fun Pop, Thursday's PM in the PM, Friday's Xbox Ultimate, and Saturday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern is FSP Fun Speculation Podcast with Gaming Key and Fuzzy Belvedere. So be there. We're looking to have a lot of fun on that show tomorrow as well. And yeah, guys, probably going to play something tonight if I can stay awake long enough to enjoy some games. And but other than that, yeah, be streaming some this weekend as well. So
If you're
that.
not dead, Kate.
Right?
Yeah,
My
if I'm
God.
not
Be
dead.
buried under the sofa.
She's probably waiting downstairs right now, like this motherfucker.
She's waiting out the door right now with a big old knife.
You think so? You think I'm safe to go downstairs?
Probably
No.
not.
Hey.
No.
She just
Yeah,
said so.
you can also
Oh.
find him dead later on.
Yeah, and then you know, we also do this thing on Mondays called Tidbits, where we kind of just go through the games coming up for the week. And what else do we do here? Little videos pop up here and there, so check those out too. But appreciate everybody.
Caitlin-
Chat. you
Caitlin has a
guys rock.
special segment on the channel now.
Yeah, she has awesome videos.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
Matt?
check out Kate. She does. Check out Kate's
I
vids
know.
I
on
was-
TikTok. For
She also
reals.
does your 1-minute news videos here.
She
Yeah.
does. Yes, these videos too. Yeah, she's doing these awesome little news drop update videos for us as well on the show, and she's done a great job so far. Yeah, she's done 2 of them, so she's gonna keep pumping those out as well. If I didn't piss her off enough, that's the catch, you know, because I got to ask her to do them. So, but again, everybody,
Back to the Magnificent Seven, everybody.
yeah, stop stalling.
She says you're stalling.
I am stalling.
Get on with it.
I am. All right.
Go
Bye.
and take your hiding.
Again,
Oh.
everybody, thank you so much.
FaceTime
The
us,
chat
buddy.
was freaking amazing tonight, guys. You rock.
It was.
Have a
Remember
great
this
one.
night, Psycho.
Take it easy. Bye.
Casual gaming, guys.
Don't buy dirt Vespas.